late pontiff's coffin, which lies in state before the main altar in St. Peter's Basilica.
An Israeli airstrike hit a school compound sheltering displaced Palestinians in Gaza City overnight, killing at least 23 people. The strike reportedly ignited fires in tents set up for shelter within the school grounds.
Witnesses described scenes of chaos as the fire spread quickly through the temporary shelters.
Indian authorities are searching for gunmen responsible for an attack on tourists in Pahalgam, located in Indian-administered Kashmir.
In response to the attack, India has announced several measures directed at Pakistan.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has stated that the current trade conflict between the United States and China is not sustainable in the long run.
Reports indicate the U.S. government is considering significant reductions to the high tariffs recently imposed on Chinese imports.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
What the fungo?
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
What the fungo? I always like to say what the fungo first thing in the morning. The thing I do. The thing I do. Oh, this
Damn good coffee. And hot.
yeah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
You know what? Maybe a hot pepper will make you laugh. Depends on where you put it. To make you giggle. I don't want to get into that yet. We'll talk about that later. Maybe. Never know. Oh, that's speaking of damn good coffee and hot, I'll have a little damn good coffee and hot. Good morning, folks. It is it's trash day. It's Thursday, right? That's all. It's trash day. April 24th, 2025. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I have to say that, like Mr. Rogers. Where's my sweater? I got coffee. It's at coffee time. Man, if we got a show for you today. We got a coffee guy. Big Guns Coffee. T. Shane Johnson, who's got like a wild story, a wild life story, but he's also a coffee salesman. And the reason I'm excited to have him on, because I want to become an affiliate. Big Guns Coffee. And we'll just, maybe grift a little. Because I suck at grifting. This is what I'm finding out. All these people who are on Twitter, support me or I'll have to get a real job. And people do. They send them money. I don't have the gonads to say support me or I'll have to get a real job. And I need the gonads. Anybody seen my gonads? Anybody here seen my gonads? I don't know. So I got to learn to grift. But in the meantime, maybe I could help sell some coffee, push some coffee, Big Guns Coffee. Here's a weird thing I want to ask him about, because he's a Marine. And one of his coffees is called Charlie's Blend. Now, I'm not sure he's of the right era to understand this, but Charlie, in my era, was the bad guy. Vietnam, Charlie. Let's not get to where that came from, because it's sort of racist. But I see how I giggle on sort of racist. But I don't know if he even knows, the Iraq guy. He's an Iraq guy, probably, or Afghanistan guy, probably. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll ask him. And then in the second hour, we got Austin Arbogast, who is a comedian who's starting this thing. I want to say this thing with a hand out, like the hand means something. Of comedians eating hot peppers while they do their comedy. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll find out because I'm not sure how that works. Because hot peppers would just, first of all, I could not listen. I can't be funny even without a hot pepper. And I'm not going to make you laugh. It's not going to happen. But with a hot pepper, I'm certainly less funny than I am. Maybe funny to look at, more funny to look at because I'll be barfing or just like dying or choking or. I am an ugly motherfucker. Who's looking over there in the monitor? God, what an ugly mother. Anyway, I got a letter from Tony Walker about the show Saturday night, and he says, see, we're all going in a van. It's in New Jersey, and the entire cast is going in a van. And he says, we will have a great time. Now, Tony, if you're listening, I never agreed to have a great time. And if I have to have a great time, I'm not going. I never agreed to, this is in my contract, no great times for me. I want a shitty time. I'm scared shit. I have stage fright. I know I suck. And I want to keep that feeling going. The anxiety and the angst and the why did I fucking say yes to this fucking thing that I know I'm going to suck at. So last night I had a program. I did have a program last night about ghosts. Tina Irwin was on. And I noticed in the chat room, Mr. Kumbaya was there. I didn't give him any attention then, but I have to say this. I have never seen anybody want to suck his own dick as bad as Mr. Kumbaya wants to suck his own dick. There's a reason he's banned from this program. And I thought he was banned from the entire network, but apparently he could slip in on the evening show in the chat room. He's an uninformed Kumbaya son of a dick-sucking, self-dick-sucking asshole. Son of one. I guess his father was one too. But he thinks I ask questions asking him. He's in the chat room and he wants to, I want to show how fucking smart I am so I can get one viewer for my shitty little podcast that's been on the air for 7 years and has one viewer. 7 years, he's got one fucking view. Doing it every week. And he's trying to use me to grow his little kumbaya fucking nonsense. And this is the reason he's banned here. But to act like he's a fucking expert, now I'm asking the guests questions. I don't need your stupid fucking uninformed answers. Stay out of my chat room. Go suck your own dick like you wanna. I'm getting a little worked up. So, I got that off my chest, I think. It's still there. But I just feel like every time I see him, I just want to punch him in his little fucking kumbaya face. We'll move on. Speaking of some people I want to punch in their kumbaya face, I have learned recently that Steven has big floppy tits. I didn't know that. And I wish I still didn't know that. It's something I just found out recently, like within the last 20 minutes. And it's going to haunt me. Speaking of ghosts. The ghost of Steven's big floppy tits. I just don't know what to make of it. But we are not on Big Floppy Tits Twitter today. We are on my Twitter because yesterday on Big Floppy Tits Twitter, we got like 7 views or something like that. And that's just not enough. It's not enough. So hopefully, if you're tuning in on Twitter, or you're looking for us on Twitter, don't look on Big Floppy Tits channel. Look on my channel. And maybe we'll get a few more people. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe Big Floppy Tits is what you want. If you want big floppy tits, then by all means, maybe we'll go back to Big Floppy Tits tomorrow and see how he does there. We'll take a listen. If my channel sucks, my channel sucks. At least it's not sucking its own dick. Is it? Is it? Oh, it is. I'm sorry. So speaking of, we're going to talk to Big Floppy Tits in just 1 minute. I want to play a commercial first, and I don't have any commercials to play. So I'm just going back to, I got it. One of these days, I'm going to stop talking and just do stuff. Actually do some work. In the meantime, I'm going to send me some money because I don't want to get a real job. You know what? Fine. I'll get a real job.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Okay, get off Mind Bloom. Get off Mind Bloom. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now, the big floppy tit bastard himself, who does need a punch in the face. That's Stephen, no name. I think he's auctioning off his last name. I think we had one for him, but I don't know. I bid $1. I think somebody already outbid me, so I'm not going to get to name the big floppy.
I think we're up to $25 right now.
Wow, $25 to rename Floppy Tits Ortiz. Floppy Tits Steven. I don't know.
For the record, I used to have pretty floppy tits. They're shrinking rapidly.
Okay. And also in the room with me now are my best friend of 57.6 seconds.
The man, the legend.
7 now. GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Have you seen the commercial for flushable wipes for men? Do not buy them. They clog the water systems. If you want to avoid seeing those brown stains in your undies, get your briefs at minddogtv.com/merch. We use 100%.
You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, we use 100% white cotton and then soak them in Mind Dog coffee until it's the perfect shade of brown. No more brown stains in your shorts. MindDogTV.com. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
Brown stains in my shorts. This is
this is why I carry dude wipes.
It's not.
That was what the commercial was for.
Really, brown.
I carry dude wipes.
What? Wait, explain to me now. It's like men who don't know how to wipe their own ass or don't have a bidet. What are we talking
dude
about?
wipes? Dude wipes are just just so you can get extra clean. Like
wipes. They're baby wipes with the word "dude" on them. Okay,
and they smell like cologne. They don't smell like baby wipes.
Okay, the point is they still clog up the sewage system.
100%.
Yeah, and so don't use them if you don't want to see the brown stains in your shorts. Buy the Mind Dog TV underwear.
I like smelling like a baby.
White coffee
smells like a baby.
White cotton soaked in brown coffee. And that perfect.
Then women will come up to my ass and say, "Oh, how cute!" and they'll like give it right because it smells like a baby.
Or they'll want to leave you on the hospital doorstep.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Or leave you outside of a firehouse.
Yeah. Or they'll want to grab you and throw themselves down the stairs.
or maybe they're Casey Anthony like, and they want to put you in a shallow grave. Who knows?
Or maybe they'll use a coat hanger on you.
I'm not gonna wave my ass in front of Casey Anthony's face. Don't get me wrong.
She's hot though.
Is she?
She's pretty good. I mean, not really in the face, but in the body, it's not bad.
I don't know.
Hey, look! I hear she's a killer lay. So.
I don't know. I mean,
anyways,
maybe the evil thing made her more attractive. The fact that she's evil.
Maybe that could be it, like the bad girl thing.
Maybe she's got like the Venjada dentata, though.
What?
Venjada dentata, the pussy teeth.
Oh, that's a good possibility.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that. You guys believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Ghosts, not spirituality.
I'm black.
Ghosts.
I'm black. I believe in spooks.
See,
I believe in spooks.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that, but she didn't ask if. What's the difference between spooks and ghosts? Well,
skin color.
All right.
Voting rights.
Archie Bunker.
Credit score.
Whether or not I lock my car when they're walking by.
So here's the deal.
Cockeyes.
She's telling me about ghosts that need help, and I asked this yesterday. Like, what would ghosts need? They need help crossing over to where? Is it heaven? No, it's the fourth dimension. And everybody goes to the fourth dimension, whether you're good or bad. Like she was talking about the movie Ghost with the black guys. The black guys will come and get you if you're bad or you commit suicide. I don't know why the black guys come. Can you elaborate on that, GD? Why the black guys come and get me if I commit suicide?
In the neighborhood, actually, if you're in a different neighborhood, then there's the white guys that come to get you, and they have hoods and burning tiki torches. Or if you're in a different neighborhood, then the Puerto Ricans that come to get you, and they're like singing sharp.
We didn't even talk about the Spicks. I'm sorry. Did I just say something bad?
Oh my God!
Oh.
There's no Hispanic person here for you to call that and then be okay with it.
And where'd the name Ortiz come from if you're not Hispanic?
Right.
I'm a colonizer. I took the name just like the land.
All right. So they all go to the same neighborhood, though, the fourth dimension. And this is where it's like a way station for people. Like, you're good, you're bad.
No, fourth dimension for the people. Fourth dimension for people who were not good enough to sing in the fifth dimension.
No, we eventually got to the fifth dimension. That's where they sorted it all out. And of course, when it's the minute she said the fifth dimension, I'm like all over Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, won't you marry me, Bill?
Listen, you don't want to marry Bill. Bill's a kept man. Bill is a kept man.
I don't know, Bill. I love him so.
All right, fine. So anyway, I said, why do so many ghosts need your help? I mean, come on. It would seem like getting into the fourth dimension should be like second nature for ghosts.
Did ghosts go helpless before she started helping them?
Her answer is, do you know what to do when you die?
Her answer was Jennifer Love Hewitt is overworked.
No, the answer is, do you know what to do when you die? What do you know? What are you? You're standing in line on the death line. Do you know what the protocol is? And obviously, I don't. I haven't been dead. I don't know. They could come by with the chili pepper and ask me to do comedy or something. I don't know.
I think she's assuming that most people are just too lazy to read the manual that comes with death.
Well, my
is there an ebook?
This is what my
Kindle.
retort. And I don't. And when I say retort, don't call me a retort.
I would never call you a retort to your face.
Never.
Right. I said, well, I didn't know what to do when I was born either. Nobody, and I didn't need help. I didn't need somebody help me cross over to life.
Well, you did actually a little bit.
Well, no. If nobody did anything, Chance could have just popped on out. If nobody did anything, he wasn't going to stay there.
Well, no, but his parents had to do it.
No,
like to create him. And then, somebody had to teach you how to
physically. You're not talking about spiritually.
Spiritually, I see what you're
put that in there. Like doctors have to. In my case, doctor had to pull me out through cesarean and unwrap the umbilical cord from my neck, which I was hanging. I knew right from before I was born that someday I would want to hang myself, and I used the umbilical cord. And
I was Section 2, and I didn't want to come out. I knew this world sucked.
Well, my sister and brother.
For you, I could understand. Who would want to go through life as a male with big floppy tits?
I know my sister and my two brothers are both before me. They were all C-sections, and I was so late and so unwanted. I was a Section 8. Yeah,
Section 8.
Yeah, I was Section 8 because by that time all the money was gone. Raising the other kids, my father and mother had no money left, so I was a Section 8.
He went from C-section to cell block C.
Right. Are we late for our guest? Do we have?
Yes, we are. We should have brought Mr. Shane.
Where's my clock? Where's my
you
clock?
Probably haven't. If you lose a few pounds, you probably see your clock.
I was gonna say, I have big floppy tits. You have a micro penis. It is what it is. We all have our problems.
How about I come to Indiana and beat the fucking piss out of you? How about that?
I would be down to hang out, Matt. Come on, let's come hang out. You can come beat my ass, and we'll go have like a beer.
I'll shove your big floppy tits in your face.
You guys have such an dysfunctional relationship. I'm not sure that I should be on this show. I think I should be on a different show. I honestly, right. I honestly, when I logged in, I thought I was going to be on a different show.
Now, are you down with this whole Kumbaya thing, harassing Mr. Kumbaya coming around and harassing me?
I didn't see him harassing. If he's just in the chat room, don't look at him.
He just monopolizes all the chat room. I'm just trying to see the legitimate chatters, their comments, if they have any questions. Like, everything is energy, man. Like, what does that fucking mean? You think you just fucking pulling out some trope that you've heard said over? You don't have any. Define what the fuck you mean. Let's get into specifics, Mr. Physics. What the hell does that mean? Can't do it. It's just a thing I like to say when I'm going kumbaya.
I have a different viewpoint of everybody's energy, but okay. I mean, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying.
Him, he feels like he has to. I'm asking you a question about what it's like to be a terrible fucking podcast.
And I'm under the impression that if a different member of the audience in the chat room had asked you the exact same question, you would have been a little bit more kind, a little bit more conducive to having a discussion.
Asked any questions.
No, I'm just saying. Well, if someone else in the chat room did the same thing he's doing, you probably be a little more tolerant.
I'd say let the guest answer the question for themselves. They're the expert, not you. If you're in the chat room, you're not the guest. Don't answer the questions. Ask questions of the guest. That's fine. He didn't ask any questions of the guest. He wants to answer the question like he knows, and he doesn't know. All he knows is kumbaya. Hold hands. Talk about floppy tits. I'm sorry, Stephen. This is John Bieber's fault. You know that. I would not be calling.
I do, but I know it's out of love, so it's fine.
Our guest is gone. Too late. Our guest has left the room.
No,
Elvis has left the building.
All right, he's back. He's coming back.
Elvis is back.
All right, we'll bring him in now. This is a long. I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing. T. Shane Johnson has a life story. It's something like out of a movie, and I'm not talking about the kind of movies that Stephen watches. Let's
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, overcoming a horrific attack and homelessness to emerge as a Marine veteran and standout entrepreneur. Kind of tale that could spark a fire in anyone needing that extra push off a building or of resilience and hope. And he's here now. He's a coffee entrepreneur. Let's say good morning to T. Shane Johnson. Good morning, T. Shane.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Are you in witness protection? You're kind of like, we can't see you.
You look like you've gone to the light.
Well,
to the other side.
I was helped through when I was born. So that's what you get when you do that versus the other.
I love the fact that you're a coffee guy. Because I'm a coffee guy, but I didn't see an affiliate link on you. I would love to be a sponsor. And first of all, part of this, does part of your company's profit goes to helping homeless veterans? Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I want to be clear though. So my daughter is the one that started it. She's 10 years old. She started it at 6. So we do it together. She's the actual founder that came up with the name and the company and the whole concept. And we do that together.
At 6 years old, why would she pick big guns?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of thought she'd have called it Barbie coffee or
yeah. Well, so I had it's guns, not guns. So the idea was
I understand, but either connotation is unusual for a 6-year-old.
Maybe his daughter's jacked.
Starting the business as well. So I have done a bunch of world records. I'd ran across America a couple of times, and I broke a couple different world records. One of them being the most push-ups in 1 hour. And she thought her dad was strong. So when she developed her business, she wanted other people to feel the same way. So she thought she'd call it Big Guns Coffee because maybe not everybody could do those things, but they could feel like that in the morning when they get up.
Well, yesterday I broke the record for least push-ups in 1 hour. 0. I think that's record pretty safe. So I don't think it will ever be broken.
I know with my history of coffee, I would have probably called it big runs, and just I would have. I mean, that's just my experience with coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we
Well,
will
there's.
get.
I'm sure that domain's open.
Yeah, probably is.
It's wide open.
And you will need your man wipes, right? When you,
No,
when you get,
no, I don't know. Steven
what
is
are
the
they
one who
called?
uses the dude wipes.
Oh, dude
I
wipes.
say just buy brown underwear.
There you go. Well, I want to, before we move on, I want to ask you about your attack and the homelessness and all that kind of stuff, and how you overcame all that stuff. But is your daughter's name Charlie, or because I noticed there's a Charlie's Blend on the
Charlie,
site.
that's my daughter. Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, I know you're a vet, but Charlie in my era was the bad guy.
Yeah, part of the phonetic alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but that C in Charlie stood for a bad guy.
Bad guy. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, now, what was the circumstance that the horrific attack that I mentioned in your bio that I read there?
Yeah, so I was with the First Reconnaissance Battalion in Camp Pendleton, and I had a couple of good buddies of mine that had just finished sniper school that I served with in a different unit, and we had a little bit of liberty, free time to kind of take the weekend and go enjoy ourselves in California. And I was last to join. MS-13 at the time was targeting members of the military in order for gang initiation. So when I came out the back of the base, I happened to be one of those targets, and they took a car as I was coming on a motorcycle and hit me with it. And I came off the motorcycle at about 45 miles an hour and broke all the bones in my upper body and lacerated all my organs. They got out and basically tried to kick me and beat me to death and rob me, thinking that I was dead. So yeah, with all of my chest plate, my ribs, my arm, shoulder blade, pretty much everything broken, and then my lungs were punctured, 3/50 pieces. My left bicep was split open. So I ended up walking 2 blocks to a fire station because nobody would help me do the gang and the location. And yeah, and then I there happened to be a doctor on site. I flatlined out, 3 times, kind of came back to life, died, came back to life, and then I stayed in the hospital for about 8-9 months, and then I was about back operational with my unit about a year later.
How long ago was this?
It was about 20 years ago now.
Wow. How long did it take you to recover to where you could do the kind of physical fitness that obviously got you in the shape that you're in today?
Yeah, so that's part of it. So I never really have. So I'm 100% disabled. I actually only have 30% use of my right arm, severe nerve damage, 40% use of my lungs, still severe problems with my back and shoulders. A large part of the feats that I do is really just to kind of when you get a second chance at life, when a lot of guys you serve with didn't get that second chance at life, you kind of feel a lease payment you have to pay for that responsibility. So I try to do these things as a hook to pull in to help serve and, help those that need it most.
Wow, because and we're only seeing your shoulders and upper arms there, but it looks like you're extremely fit. So you're not able to. How do you maintain what looks like a big guns physique there?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I think, and then the deep side of that, a lot of us in the veteran community, when we go through a lot of trauma, or anybody for that matter, find certain levels of addiction. Some people goes into drug and alcohol. For me, it was health and wealth. I was trying to focus on being as healthy as possible because I knew my lifespan had gotten shortened substantially based, after talking to all the doctors. So I became a little bit more obsessed about trying to stay as healthy as possible. And then, when I'm a father of, a little girl, I want to be around as long as possible. So those things become priorities, and it's a different form of addiction. I just try to stay as healthy as possible, try to use different functional training to help me do the things that I need to try to stay as fit as I can.
Wow. Now I'm curious about this gang. This was MS-13, you say. Are there other? Because this is the only one we ever really hear about. MS-13. Is this are there other gangs that do this kind of target just innocent people just because they're in the Marines and just target strangers for no apparent reason other than they're a Marine? Are there other gangs doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are. I obviously can't speak for them and know the different dynamics of each one. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's, they have their platform, their organization, and the way that they run things. So I would assume there's a lot of bad people in the world as equally as there are good people. So I'm sure there's somebody out there trying to find a way to hurt someone else.
It also depends on the region you're in, because I know that in the Trump administration, their big boogeyman is was it trend it's like Venezuelan gangs,
Isn't that part of MS-13? I don't know what, but it seems like a high risk crime. Like if they had to get caught, I'm thinking they had to get caught. Did they get caught, and did they face justice for what they did to you?
So I was part of a pretty elite unit. I just know that about 2 a.m. I was told not to worry about it again.
Wow, that's a very strange thing. Did you want to see justice? Did you want it like a court case? Did you want to face your?
It sounds like justice was served, just maybe not classically. Is what
you got it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. And now
you read through the lines pretty good on that one. You got it. Yeah, Southern California.
Well, it's a nice one there, floppy tits. Good one for you. Thanks for straightening me out.
No problem, Mike. Back to you, Shane.
The Venezuelan gang is Tren de Aragua, right? Tren de Aragua, ARA. Yeah, no,
you need to watch your mouth.
It isn't easy for me to say it. I have a problem with the Aragua.
Sounds like they need a rebrand on the name for better marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the translation is. It's kind of like ISIS, like they're
ISIS is easy to say.
No, I'm saying, but their real name is Daesh.
ISIL.
Daesh. That's the real name, but that translates to crap, I think. So they don't like that.
That's super weird because GD Fenderson translates to not funny. So
exactly. Can we try to stay focused here for 30 seconds, please? That's all I meant.
Well, so like a goldfish to you? Your turn.
T-Shane, when this happened to you, and now I'm assuming you're hospitalized for a certain period of time. You stayed active in the Marine Corps somehow?
I did, yes, sir. Yeah, well, I was in ICU, CCU for quite some time, and then because my lungs were, I had chest tubes, I couldn't go under any surgery or be relocated, so I pretty much had to lay there in rehab, lay in the bed and let everything kind of heal up. So I was there for a while, and then finally, when I got somewhat where I could actually walk and start to move again, then I got back to my unit and then started self-training and then just getting back operational, because that was just before 9/11 happened. So once I was back operational, 9/11 happened, then our unit prepared for deployment.
So how were you able to, when you rejoined your unit, were you at 100%? Because it sounds like even now that you said you had like 30% loss in one arm, 40% in another. That doesn't sound like you were able to fully function in your unit.
Yeah, so I was. Obviously, youth played a big factor in that. So, in order to be operational, I had to do a 3-mile run in less than 18 minutes, 20 pull-ups, and 100 sit-ups within 2 minutes. So I had, again, become obsessed with trying to get back to the training side of it. Now, I had lost 54 pounds too. So, dropping that weight made it a little easier on some of the things and trying to rebuild. But, you're in your 20s. Obviously, you go through some of the pretty trauma. Your body, re-heals a little bit better. As we get older and age, things start to kind of get a little worse, as we all know. So, and two, with trauma, you don't really pay attention to a lot of it. Again, it's a Marine mentality. We don't look at it as we're hurt. Mental is a large part of that. So we get back in and push past pain. It's not until later on when we get out, get older, we start to realize, like, wait a minute, we probably shouldn't have done that. Start to pay the price for it.
No, that explains that my cousin was in the Army. When he lost 20 pounds, it was a leg. It was, and so he couldn't rejoin his unit.
Can we try to stay focused here for 30 seconds, please? Please, I'm begging.
Goldfish, did you forget that already? Goldfish, 30 seconds. Come on.
Did the homelessness come after you got out of the Marine Corps?
Yes, sir, it did. So I'd kind of gotten out and started to develop my life a little bit and became an entrepreneur. Of course, 2008, the recession happened in the business I was running at the time. Just kind of culmination of the trauma and the experiences and everything that I didn't really address. I think just kind of hit me at once. And it put me in a position just kind of where I was out on the streets for about 2 years.
That's a very tough thing. Now, I want to get your perspective on this because I work with the vets a lot. I spend a lot of time at the VA, and there are vets in different states of PTSD and trauma and disabilities and all this kind of thing. But when it comes to homelessness and vets on the street, society, a good portion of our society, says they don't want help. And to me, I don't think that's true. Nobody really wants to be on the street. What is first of all, do you hear that? And if so, how does that make you feel? What is your reaction to people who say, well, they want to be homeless?
Well, look, the working man's a sucker, right? Middle class is the hardest part of the entire platform. I mean, to pay a mortgage, to pay a car payment, to live in the system, to just barely get by is a heck of a lot harder than it is to be on the streets. I mean, the way we perceive it, because we feel that tangible things kind of give us identity, and if we have a house and we have this thing, especially as Americans, then we feel that we've accomplished that because that's the way the system's marketed to us. When you're homeless, you have accessibility to things that, and stressors that you don't have to really concern yourself with. And again, just in that context, I'm not saying that there aren't struggles and there aren't fights and there aren't things that are, like in anything else. But I mean, when you have the ability to be able to kind of have your own freedom and look, unless you've been a part of that system, right, where you've been in it, it's extremely hard to get out. I mean, if you get behind on debt, right, you've got collections judgment. So how are you going to go get an apartment when an apartment won't lease to you and your credit score is a 400 and you got judgments? Then if you've got any kind of tax liens problems, I mean, the system is just compounds. So then let's say you go get a regular job, right? Well, who's going to give you a great job when you're missing some teeth, you're a little homeless, look a little scraggly? They're going to pay you $50 an hour. You're going to get $12, and they're going to tell you how grateful you are for that $12 an hour that you're getting. Only for that W-2 income to be snatched up. Yeah, they're going to be snatched up because now someone's going to garnish your wages and pull that income, and then they're going to take your license because you can't qualify for insurance, and insurance is triple because your credit score. So it's just, I think from a factor of, trying to deal with that system, it's better just to sit out, hang out with your buddies, have a couple of beers, and and do what you got to do. I mean, it's just, again, just from the simplicity of it. And the veteran community, it's challenging for them, but they know how to live with the little.
It seems like an inescapable downward spiral, and that's what brings me to my: how did you escape that? Because again, I don't want to. It sounds like I'm virtue signaling here, but we've taken a lot of homeless people in, and it doesn't seem like, even when you give them a place to stay and some foundation to go out and try to get to the point where they can stand up and take care of themselves, that it works very well. It doesn't take. So I'm wondering, first of all, you are the exception to the rule on that, bringing yourself out of homelessness. But how did you accomplish that? And do you have any, I don't know, insights for other people who might be trying to do the same thing?
Well, I think we're all one big crisis away from being homeless, right? So we're all one major job loss, one, car crash, one medical issue for all of us. I mean, I would say a large part of people live in the capacity that if they had one of those things happen, they could be out on the streets. And so I don't think it's something that can't happen to any and everybody. I think for me, the difference is that, I served with a lot of guys that didn't make it back. And like I mentioned earlier, God gave me a second chance at life, and I just didn't think it would be good for me to be at the pearly gates. Again, just putting it into simplest terms, and saying, I gave you that versus the other guy that didn't come back and couldn't spend time with his family, and you did nothing with it but sit in your sorrows. So I think for me, it was an opportunity to at least try to earn, that lease and pay that debt as much as possible. So it was an obligation. And then, of course, when I became a father, I was no longer about myself. It's a responsibility of my child and my daughter. And I was, again, blessed again with that opportunity. So I just kind of took it and ran with it. I didn't sit and wallow in all of the problems. I just addressed them, attacked them, took them one bite at a time, just like in Marine, advanced forward. And I guess people consider it a success. I just considered it as, not everybody got a second chance of life. I need to do something with mine.
Right. Why did you become a Marine in the first place?
Well, chicks dig the uniform, so.
All right.
God damn it. Answer I've ever heard.
It is what it is. It's just a good.
Think about it, Matt. Think about it. We have musicians that get on here and they're like, "Do you play guitar?" Because it would get you. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is a very viable answer. I dig it.
No, I'm fine with that answer.
But they also dig firefighters. They also dig firefighters. Their other uniforms.
Yeah, but when you think Marine, you're just like
Coast Guard has a dandy uniform. The Navy has just fabulous uniforms. I don't know. It's not just Marines that have uniforms.
Yeah, I think fabulous and Navy definitely go into the same context.
Gay?
I deliberately picked that because I knew how the Marines feel about the Navy.
There you go.
Well, you call yourself seaman. You're just asking for it. So,
all right. First of all, because you mentioned the word God, and listen, last night I was trying to pin this my guest down because we were talking about spirituality. She's a ghost helper. And then she kept saying the word God, and I was trying to pin her down on what she means by God, because people have different definitions of what they mean by God. But really, I'm more curious in good and evil and the aspects of good and evil. And did what you went through, did that change your perspective on good and evil, whether it is, you can mention God, or if there's a God, you might believe in the opposite, that there's also a Satan or devil or whatever, but or is it just a human thing that we learn? Because what happened to you was certainly a demonstration of evil, right? Or do you not see it as that?
Yeah, I think that was two questions. I want to make sure I answer them right. So
yeah, it's probably about four.
So first and foremost, God is just a context or term that we can use as higher power. I think a lot of times we associate that with Christianity or a certain type of religion. When I say God, especially as a speaker for many years, this context of if you believe there is something beyond us, no matter how you want to do it, if it is that whole, it's energy and matter, if it's God, if it's Jesus, whatever context you want to put it in, so that way there's a general statement, because the term definitely means something of higher power. So when I use it, it's not necessarily religious based. It's just a factor of during that experience, there was something above and beyond me that my brain's too small to try to comprehend. So I just throw a title on it in order to
understood. See, because when I don't necessarily think of it as religious, I see a God and I think it's one letter away from good, and I'm kind of think of them as forces, and devil is like one letter too many from evil. So you could take the D off of devil, and then you got evil. You could add an O to God, and it becomes good. And those forces, the primal forces, I think exist. And the question is, do you think they are forces of nature, or are they something we learned as human beings? And the people who did this to you obviously were gravitating towards the evil part of it, or the bad, whatever you want to call. But where does it come from? Did it change your perspective on that, what you went through?
I mean, it necessarily changed my perspective. I think anybody that has served in the military or has been deployed or been in combat clearly knows the difference between good and evil. And I think that, there's definitely, there has to be one, there has to be both. And I think that's an important thing. I think for me, it wasn't really a good or evil situation. I was just grateful for life. I think what happens is that when I say term blessed, I was given the opportunity to really appreciate what is today, right? This conversation, the banter, the joke, the sarcasm. I mean, what kind of selfish punk would I be to sit here and not enjoy what I have and find everything wrong with it? That's not how I teach my daughter. That's not how I teach people. I mean, I am here today breathing in this air. I'm having a wonderful conversation in the AC. I'm able to enjoy and look at life in the way that maybe most people can't. I think that, look, whatever happens afterwards, I'll deal with that when that gets here. For the time being, I'm here and I'm grateful for what's here.
That is a great statement. It's about living in the moment, appreciate what we have in the moment. Dude. So many people, I think, and I probably have done this 1,000 times in my life, would take something adverse that has happened to me and make myself the victim of it and not see the lesson from it or the blessing from it at all. And I don't know if that's something that comes natural. I guess your parents must have been very good at instilling that kind of, I don't know, gratitude in you. Yes?
No, no. My mom left when I was 9, and my dad was definitely very negative. He's a correctional officer for a long time, so 40 years.
Wow.
He saw nothing but the worst of the worst. So, no, look, man. You guys may or may not have children, but for my daughter, again, in the context of God, created the most perfect human being in the world, and there's something or someone or somehow that was done. And again, like I said, what kind of person would I be to not appreciate every moment of that? So I'm just grateful for it. I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful to people, around us. I like being here. I like the present.
You're an exceptional human being in this time, because we live in a time, and I was yesterday almost did a video on this, where negativity and just the idea of looking for the negative and accentuating the negative is all around us. So congratulations for just finding reasons to be positive and talking the talk. And they say you got to walk the walk, but I think just talking the talk is helpful to so many people. Are you doing keynote speeches, or what is beyond the coffee business that you help your daughter run? What is your main focus in life?
Yeah, that's a large part of it. Yes, sir. So for the last 15 years, I've been a motivational speaker in some way or another. And a lot of times it is about that. It's about being in the present and perseverance, appreciating life other than the, leadership and executive coaching and stuff, and that part of it. But a large part of it is, look, I'll share this with you. And again, I understand that there's some hesitation and beliefs. When I was on the third time of flatlining, again, there wasn't like this, right, a little angel that came down and backup singers and telling me how everything was going. It was more of a subconscious moment, and it was a sense of euphoria when you're going through that much pain and agony, that actually that moment, that pain completely goes away. And I try to think of it as like, a yogi, where they're sitting there thinking about the highest form of meditation when they're, nothing is bothering them. And it's the only way I can kind of think that moment, that it was this massive amount of euphoria. And it was a subconscious conversation that said, you have two choices. One you can live, and one you can let go. And if you let go, it's a guilt-free let go. It wasn't like you give up on life, you're a loser, doing that. It was, if you choose this as your time, it's okay. And it was a very euphoric, warm feeling. Look, that could have been the epidural and the drugs pumping through my system, but from a sense of trying to put it into that spiritual perspective, it was that moment. But I will tell you that voice also said, if you decide to live, you're going to live a life full of pain. And and I had to make that choice, and it's been true. I've lived a life of failures and pains and agony. And I went through a lot of therapy, a lot of trauma, a lot of problems with that, a lot of down times. And then I realized how selfish that was for me to think that it was all about me. I realized that what I needed to do was to continue to share with other people my story and let them know that there is a positive thing, and stop looking forward and thinking, what if it's going to happen here, and start looking in the now. Because that's the problem with our country, right? It's a problem with the world, is that as adults, we're so focused on here that we're not focused on our little humans. And our little humans are spending all their time looking up as if you would to some type of spiritual God. And they're looking at you because they don't understand that context. And they're saying, feed me that spiritual guidance, feed me that positivity, feed me all those things. And we're too busy trying to complain about all the things we don't have and what's going to happen later. And it becomes a systematic approach. Instead, if we looked down and we accepted the responsibility as leaders and parents, and we started to love our children in the right way and gave them positive outlook, look at what they do. They build great businesses and impact people and change the world.
You know what? I probably won't survive long, and I'm not saying this like, oh, woe is me, but I would love to see what kind of exceptional person your daughter grows up to be. I won't be around for that because I'm old. It's just the clock running out.
Really old.
That is a great, I think we forget about not just raising our children, but setting a good example for them and teaching them how to look at the world, how to get perspective on the world. I think we forget about that. We get so caught up in just trying to make a living, pay the bills and all that stuff, and make sure our kids are provided for, that we forget about teaching how to live. So it will be.
I should tell the kids my job as a parent is to work myself out of a job so that you don't need a parent anymore. Well, like I said something. No, like I said something far. No, it's my job. My job as a parent is to work myself out of a job so the kids don't need a parent.
Well, you just worked yourself out of a job. You're off the show. Get off. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. All right. So
really, you really don't. That really doesn't make sense to you.
Well, I don't. Whatever. I mean, it's too early in the morning for me to think about these dopey things you come up with. I'm sorry. Did I say dopey? I meant brilliant. That's what I meant.
Look,
Now,
it doesn't have to work for you. It worked for me, and it worked for the kids.
That's fine. Okay, we move on.
No.
With this cause for homeless veterans, how's that going?
I think what happens, it was a redirect, right? I mean, I went back to focusing on the things again. That success rate, as you mentioned, is super low. So I figured, when I ran across America 3 different times, each one of them had a cause relative to that, right? So I slept in shelters, slept on Skid Row, tunnels of Vegas, been through all these, interviewed, asked a lot of questions, went through these experiences. And I started to realize that where it all started was back in the suburbs. The father felt that they needed to go and work all the time. Now, the corporate system has decided that we can make tax off 2 people versus 1 person if 2 parents are working. So they're out working. The kids are being raised on corporate platforms that are hitting them with social media. And then, the parents are trying to pacify it because they're too busy and not taking the responsibility to educate and be part of their children's lives. Everything is tearing the American family apart every second that it gets. And no one's really speaking on how to pull it back together, right? No one's saying, oh, this is what they're doing is they're talking about policies and procedures and money, and not realizing that it's the core foundation of family that's the most important. We've so lost sight of that. And what happens is when dad's out trying to chase the American dream to pay that mortgage and that interest and all the things and live that part, and now mom's got to go work, the kids left at the devices, and that part of those devices start to, they get lonely. They need that. And so now there's someone else in their brain telling them something. It creates a sense of independence and not unity. And then, of course, like everything else, it leads to other stuff. And it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's built by design. Believe in what you want to believe. I don't care. It's built by design. Family is an important model, and it needs all pieces in order for it to function at a high level. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But I am saying that by design, it is built for a family to be a core, to not have outside resources tell us what we should think or do or so on and so forth. So I went on a big mission, and instead of trying to change the world, I thought what would be better is if I stopped talking out of both sides of my mouth, as they say in the South, and just did it starting with my daughter. And that's kind of how that business formulated with that, was an opportunity to say, you know what? If I could pour all into this coachable little human, and she can make an impact to the world, it'll start to trigger and make maybe other people think the same thing. And that's the hook, right? And then take it from there.
Yeah.
Where's her mom?
Yeah, she's here with us.
Oh, okay. I was just waiting for it to be mentioned. It's in the sense that because I was just waiting to I didn't hear it being mentioned. So
let me explain. He's black and he's not used to having two parents in the house.
Oh my God!
Was that racist?
Where's Mama?
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Surprised he didn't ask where's Grandma.
Yes. I just like to say that because I know it triggers him, and now he's going to come back and be angry like in the next hour and take it out on me. And
kids look like retards.
All right, enough of that, Stephen. Anyway, so I appreciate. I don't disagree with what you're saying about family and the importance of it. But a big part of it is giving up. You talk about devices and technology. If it weren't for some manner of technology, first of all, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. But you probably wouldn't be alive if not for technology, right? So I think it's an easy trap to fall into. We develop all these machines that help us live a better life, and then we don't see where we should draw the line on that. It's really a difficult. experience to navigate where's the benefit and where do we draw the line on that. And obviously letting your kids live on cell phones or tablets all the time is not a productive exercise, but I think it's an easy trap to fall into. And now because there's a big push for fertility and bigger families, more children. We got to have more children. I don't know if it's more productive to have parents taking care of one or two children well, or if we go back to the world that my parents grew up in, where my father was one of 17 children, but they all seem to thrive and move forward from the existence that they came up in. So I'm not sure do you have any perspective on that? Do you obviously, I think you're talking about your one daughter like she is your whole world, and that's a great feeling to have. But you talk about the family unit. Because when humans evolved, the big family was your support system to have 15 kids or something.
Well, I think that's an apples to oranges comparison, because the greatest generation had a different dynamic of household responsibilities. I mean, you didn't have bigger cities and technology that required them to, live in a condo in the middle of the city. They predominantly were in rural America and farming communities, and that was part of it. I mean, as much as they probably marketed it as it was family, it was really add more bodies to help with the support of all of the jobs that came with being on that platform. I think, what you do is like in anything else, you can take technology and traditional thought process and kind of combine those two as systems evolve. So I think, again, what we're finding is when it comes to the devices, I mean, look, yes, technology is important. It's important for children to understand because it's coming whether we like it or not. I think the difference is parents are trying to escape the responsibility of being a parent. They're putting it on the children like, oh, well, why don't you do this? Instead of saying the child didn't have a choice in that. So play your part, knock out your chores and your responsibility with your family. And of course, if there's time in order for you to do the things that you want, that's great. I just think now societies create such an individualistic type thought process that it's all about me, 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 me. And, children need a leader. Children need a support. They're not just there to be there. I mean, you had them good, bad, or indifferent, whether you made the decision or not. So now you got to suck it up and be a parent. And that's where the falter is. It's not the kids. It's the lack of parenting responsibility. So point being is that when I get home, right, and I'm dedicating that time to my child, just like in a relationship, I have to pay attention to it. I can't say, oh, well, go play on your iPad. I'm tired. Well, suck it up. Get down there and spend time with that little human. Again, it's another opportunity to change the world. And we're just running away from everything because we don't want to face the responsibility.
Well, I admire your message that you're bringing here today, and I thank you for it. BigGunsCoffee.com is where people can go to help support the cause. I went there looking for an affiliate link because we want to sponsor you. I used to have a coffee company. It failed. I'm a failed entrepreneur. But so if that's a possibility, I'd like to talk to you about that at some point in the future. But I admire what you're doing here. Now, I just want to say, because we're up against the clock here and we have another guest coming on, but your role as a motivational or inspirational type of guy, when I hear your story, all I and this is part of the me thing, all I hear is what a terrible piece of shit parent I was, and and looking at your life makes me feel like giving up, like I'm just a failure. Look at this guy; he's gone through so much, and he's got it going on, and look at me. I've been given every advantage in the world, and just look at what a piece of shit my life is. That's what I get. Not very motivational for me. Makes me want to beat myself up and throw myself off a building.
There's still time.
I don't know. But part of that is the me thing, right? The selfishness of it all, and not seeing how I can. And I do try to give back. I mean, I put some effort into it, but I don't know. The part of it is I shouldn't compare myself to you. You're you, I'm me. We've been given different paths, and what I fuck up on my path is my business.
Well, I think
can't help.
Man, I mean, look, man. You mentioned you work with the homeless community. I mean, just walk in a couple of those shelters and ask them who's running around the most, mom or dad. I mean, it's just a good reminder. I mean, the fathers are just absent in most of that dynamic, and it's and there's no demographic selection to it. It's all races, all backgrounds, everything. The man, the traditional father, is something that is absent. And I don't need to change you, and I don't need to change 50 other people. I just need to change one. And I just need to be the best dad I can for my daughter in order for her to set the standard. Because a great leader leads by example. They do it. They don't talk about what they should or shouldn't do. They actually do it and move forward and hopefully not inspire other people. What you should see is that even through all those failures and tradition and all those things that I've been through, I was able to at least just accomplish this a little bit. And when you have those advantages, right, it gives you that key to think about how far you can take it. I mean, even still now, you're doing your part, right? Allowing me to be on your platform to share this based on the dynamic of what your audience is allows at least one person to maybe think to themselves, you know what, I can make a difference. And there's a little kid out there that may wake up the next day and his or her entire life may be changed because maybe dad said, you know what, I need to pay attention to that a little bit more. And if that's all it takes, then I'll take it.
Yeah, me too. I would think that, you know what, that would validate my experience here. This has been an uplifting conversation, even though I'm going to beat myself up and say, why is this guy getting it and why am I not getting it? But again, that's just like beating myself up. It's my psychology, I guess. But I do appreciate it. What about books and movies deals out of because your story is a compelling, and I mentioned in the bio there, I think it says we'll make a great movie. Have you considered book movie options about telling your story?
I get that a lot. Just again, like those kind of things are pretty saturated, so have the connections and resources to get to that next level, and that is challenging. But I do get that request a lot about the story and the things that we've done and where we are with my daughter. So, hopefully one day again, who knows? Right now, I'm focused on
maybe she'll do it after you're gone. I get a lot of authors who do that. A lot of authors have memorialized their examples of their great parents and their parents' struggles and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what? Timing is what it is, and there are things we have control over and things we don't. But it's great to see that. Your obvious love and for your daughter is inspiring all on its own. So. Congratulations, and I think I applaud your message, and I hope we help you reach more people with it. So
yes, sir. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks for being on the program, man. You made my Thursday morning very interesting. You gave me a lot to think about, and that's all I ask of guests is give me some things to consider about life, and you certainly have done that. So thank you for being here, and good luck with BigGunsCoffee.com. Link is in the description, folks. Go there. Have a great day.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Bye. T. Shane Johnson. Pretty cool stuff, I think. I'm impressed. Time for news, and then we're gonna meet.
Where's all your ex-viewers at, Matt?
You're right. Oh, where are they? Let me see.
Zero.
Yeah.
Are we
on
there?
And this, even
I
though
had 10 by this time yesterday. Just saying.
Well, we had 34 on Wednesday, so shut the flappy tits up.
And has just joined us on. Well, I don't know if she just joined us, but she just commented in Gov's site, and she says, "Good morning, coffee cup."
All right.
Good morning, lady.
Yeah, get some Big Guns coffee in your coffee cup. I'm going to play news, and while I'm going to play news, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to switch from my Twitter people to your people and see what the second hour brings on the floppy tits Twitter.
But that's not a fair comparison, because the first one we had a guy, and I watched our numbers like drop in the viewer thing here, and then you're going to bring on a comedian. And then Steven's going to perk up because he's like got a Kansas accent.
So maybe I just want his floppy tits to feel good about himself, and so he could put me down about something.
Yeah,
I'm sacrificing.
No, I'm just talking
about floppy tit
fucking loser.
You can have you. Oh, okay, I'm done. I don't know what I did wrong this morning, but apparently it's a biggie. Okay.
Oh,
hey, Ann.
You're all butthurt now because I'm the fucking.
Oh no, my butt's fine.
Let me see your butt. I think you need a dude wipe on it.
No, that's not gonna happen.
So you're basically saying you don't care about the news.
What news?
Indian authorities are searching for gunmen responsible for an attack on tourists in Pahalgam, located in Indian-administered Kashmir.
In response to the attack, India has announced several measures directed at Pakistan, including the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty governing water sharing. World leaders have condemned the violence, calling it a barbaric act of terrorism. Pakistan's government has expressed concern over the loss of lives in the attack. Liam White reporting.
An Israeli airstrike hit a school compound sheltering displaced Palestinians in Gaza City overnight, killing at least 23 people. The strike reportedly ignited fires in tents set up for shelter within the school grounds.
Witnesses described scenes of chaos as the fire spread quickly through the temporary shelters. This incident adds to the mounting casualties in the ongoing conflict in the region. Meanwhile, Arab mediators continue efforts to broker a long-term ceasefire agreement between the involved parties. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
In Vatican City, the period of mourning has begun following the death of Pope Francis earlier this week.
Thousands of mourners have been filing past the late pontiff's coffin, which lies in state before the main altar in St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican is observing 9 official days of mourning, after which cardinals from around the world will gather for a conclave. Their purpose will be to elect the next leader of the Catholic Church. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
They don't flop anymore.
I missed the whole news.
Firefighting crews in New Jersey have been working to contain a wildfire that spread quickly, forcing temporary evacuations. Several thousand residents were initially asked to leave their homes as a precaution.
Officials have now lifted the evacuation orders as firefighters have made significant progress in controlling the blaze. The fire scorched a considerable area, but further spread has largely been stopped. An investigation into what caused the wildfire is now underway. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A growing number of corporations have revealed plans to increase their manufacturing operations within the United States.
While companies cite various reasons for expansion, the White House highlights these investments as progress towards boosting domestic job creation. However, many trade experts suggest factors like labor costs and regulatory environments typically hold more weight in factory location decisions than tariffs alone. Kyle Norris reporting.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has stated that the current trade conflict between the United States and China is not sustainable in the long run.
Reports indicate the U.S. government is considering significant reductions to the high tariffs recently imposed on Chinese imports, potentially lowering them to a range between 50 and 65%. President Trump mentioned anticipating a deal to lower tariffs substantially, though not eliminating them completely. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tariffs on, tariffs off.
Tariffs.
He's like Ralph Macchio with the tariffs. Tariff on, tariff off. I don't know. It's not good. Chaos and instability is never a good look. It makes you look like GD with his dude wipes and his brown shorts.
Are you a retard?
Well, it's kind of that's. What do you mean?
I don't know. Are you?
Well, what do you mean by retard? You have to define retard. Like, is my IQ above 70? Probably not.
I'd say you're probably a solid 84.
Is that where the line is? I don't know where the line is. What is the denotation of numbers in the IQ? And
I've met some people who
how do they quantify that?
I don't know. I've met people who function normally who are pretty fucking retarded. So I don't know.
I think 75 is the threshold.
But 75 what? Where do these numbers come from? 75 what?
If your intelligence quotient is 75 or lower, then you're a retard.
What is 1 point of intelligence equal to? I mean, how do you quantify that 1 point? So
it equals 17 watts or 12 BTUs. It all depends if you're going metric or American
watts
standard.
and BTUs. What are we? Air conditioning units?
Watts is a place in California where they have race riots. BTUs is a band from the 70s. Bachman Turner Underdrive. Yes, I am a retard.
Bachman Turner Underachievers.
I thought BT British thermal units.
Brown.
Well, that was the sense that I was using it. I was using it as British thermal units, but
well, see, if we're talking about the brown shorts, it's
brown tinted underwear.
Brown tinted underwear.
Brown tainted underwear. We need a dude wipe sponsor, and that would be an interesting commercial to put together. Maybe I should get Willie to do it. Naked wines. I think I'm sexy. Here's 5 minutes of boring the ball.
Are you in a jail cell getting ready for your male lover? Get dude wipes today.
What does a jail cell and male lovers have to do with it? I don't.
Well, you said Willie, so I figured, yeah.
Oh.
Some feminine prep products, dude wipes.
You think Willie got fucked in prison? Is that what you're saying?
Is
that what you're saying? Don't back off.
Yes, he was somebody's bitch. He was a power bottom.
Wow,
he was taking it balls deep.
Wow.
Probably for ramen.
I don't know what else to say here. Maybe we should run before the Red Hot Chili Peppers are on the program in the next few minutes. I think if they show up.
Now, what is this guy? Now, it sounds like what he does is something similar to a show that was created in Fort Wayne called Peppers and Punchlines, where the comics go on stage and they eat hot pepper or hot sauce and hot peppers, and they have to be
let me just say this: if anything happens in Fort Wayne, it doesn't really happen. It's like nobody gives a Fort Wayne. That's the reaction you get. If I tell people Fort
that's
Wayne,
fair.
Like, Fort Wayne.
I know I've seen this online. Not necessarily his, but I've seen it online. I think where comedians are eating peppers and trying to be funny.
Why?
I've seen a couple of shows. I thought I saw one on television, but on one of the lesser networks like We or TBS. Not.
I just want to say, if you work for one of these networks that GD is defining as lesser, we still hold you in high esteem. You're welcome here anytime. We don't consider you a lesser network. You are still 5/5 of a network. I just want to say that.
Oh, hey, shout out to my buddy Max Tidy, who called Kid Rock a pedophile to his face.
Wow. Where did you get the opportunity to do that?
Is that where your fight broke out?
No, he was on Kill Tony, the Nashville show, the big arena show, and he got pulled, and he called Kid Rock a pedophile.
He was on the stage Wow. Who was this? What's his name?
Max Tidy. It's on his Facebook. You might be able to share the video.
Is he? I don't know. I'm not wrong.
I understand. Kid Rock was on the panel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Why?
It was anytime Kill Tony does a big arena show, they always try to have big name people on the panel.
I understand, but shouldn't they have some relevance to comedy? Like,
yeah, you'd think. I didn't get it either. I didn't think he was funny at all. So,
Kid Rock is hilarious. Did you see the outfit he wore to the White House? Come on, that's slap. That is.
He's a drag queen. That's a drag queen. No matter how you want to dress it up. That's a drag queen, right? Yep. Over the top, flamboyant. It's redneck drag queen, but it's still drag queen. But I don't understand what he's doing on Kill Tony. Like, I would think somebody who knows about comedy in any form is acceptable. When you just have a guy doing redneck ripoff.
But when you're trying to get conservatives on the show, there's not a lot of funny to be had out there.
At least it wasn't Tucker Carlson.
I'm not saying there aren't some funny ones, but there just aren't many funny ones. Eventually you're gonna get to your Kid Rock.
But no, yeah, I hear what you're saying there. But there are a lot, maybe not good quality, but there are certainly a lot of very right-wing I don't call them conservative. I call them right-wing because they're Trump wing, which is not conservative. It's
or funny.
It's just weird. It's cultism. But there's a lot of comedians that have gone that way, and some of them don't even know why the fuck they went that way, other than the common hate for certain groups of people, whatever. But I think you could fill that seat with a comedian, a right-wing comedian, all day long. You could get Rob Schneider on there, who cries trying to explain why he.
That's what I'm saying. Rob Schneider is just like a two hairs above Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. was on one of their shows as well.
Oh yeah, he actually performed. He went out and did stand up, right? Oh,
yeah, he did a minute. They've had They've had 2 RFK impersonators on since then, though. Those guys have been funny.
So it looks like we're gonna get dissed by it because he got like 20 seconds to show up, or no hot chili pepper for you.
Maybe he's on Kansas time.
Topeka. No.
No, last time I did that, I got in trouble. They charged me with voyeurism.
I see what you did there.
Wow.
Topeka.
Wow, you made Floppy Tits actually laugh out loud. Good for you. Now this is kind of a letdown if he doesn't show up. Get him on the horn. Call him up and say, Austin.
What's his number? I'll call him.
Now imagine a guy named Topeka living in Austin. You couldn't do that, but you get a guy named Austin living in Topeka, right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I don't know why do I go on? I almost feel like I should. Now
I finished cutting my grass yesterday. After a week.
Get your pants yesterday?
I cut my grass yesterday after a week.
Cut your grass.
Yeah, my mower died on me last week, and I had to fix it.
So this is your first time of the year doing the grass?
First time of the year finishing it, because I started cutting it last week, and then my mower died in the middle of, like, I still had like a half an hour, 40 minutes left to cut, and I had to fix my mower. But in that week, I had to cut the grass again, at least half the grass again, because half of it grew. So I had like 3 lengths of grass.
See, now I mentioned when T. Shane was on the program that I compare myself to him and I feel like a piece of shit. If I compare myself to you in this moment, I have not mowed the lawn at all. I haven't even considered it. And hearing that you have makes me feel bad about myself.
I'm just happy. I only brought it because I'm happy I fixed my tractor mower.
Tractor mower? What kind of fucking pussy outfit you got going over there? Tractor mowers? You don't push your mower?
I did.
What kind of fucking communist fuck are you?
Before I got my surgery, I used to use a push mower to strengthen my legs because I had no cartilage in my knee, and so I used to use a push mower. Well, it was a self-propelling push mower.
Wait a minute.
Lazy bastard.
Hold on a second. The surgery. Were you like attacked by MS-13?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Oh.
And I didn't wind up in the hospital. As a matter of fact, I kind of bluffed my way out of it.
That's fair.
I didn't want to. Oh yeah, because I was nervous, but I didn't want them to know I was nervous. But the way I knew I was nervous was after I turned my back. I was working and I had my tool belt on, screwdrivers and hammers and stuff like that.
I know what a tool belt is.
Okay, I'm just letting you know what I had in my tool belt, and I was working on some power supplies, and our power supplies that I was working on had MS-13 tagging on it.
Wow.
And so part of my job was to paint over their tags so that the power supplies, blended in with the environment. So I painted over the tags. And by the 3rd or 4th one, I got approached saying I didn't want to do that. And I said, well, actually, no, you're right. I don't want to do it, but it's my job. And they requested, politely asked, please don't cover our tags. You know how MS-13 are. They
polite, respectful.
I really don't know how MS-13 are.
They said, please, sir, don't cover our tags. We've spent good money on those spray paint things, and I said, but it's my job to cover them, and if I don't cover them, I won't get paid my full thing. I get paid by the supply. And after I thought they were gone, I heard a sound behind me, and I took my screwdriver out and just threw it, and stuck it right in the tree. And it turns out it was a little old lady emptying her garbage.
Ian says the push mower was a family heirloom passed down from generation. I think you're talking about the cotton gin. But that's a whole other.
I almost killed the little old lady after all my bluster. I heard the sound and I just threw the screwdriver. Stuck, and I missed her by about 6 or 7 inches.
Now, what is the connection between MS-13 and MSNBC? Is there a connection?
Well, N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. So once you go to MSN, M being the 14th letter, obviously MS-13, 13 stands for M.
So you're saying Rachel Maddow's a gang member? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she's part of the organized MS-14? Gang called Lesbians. She's part of an organized gang called Lesbians.
Why didn't you just change the name to Richard?
Rachel, because she's a doctor and she changed her name to Richard. She had to change it on everything, and they're not going to go back and take her diploma, her PhD, and then change it to Richard. It's Rachel under a PhD. She might as well keep the name.
Who else do you think has a PhD around here?
Who else do I think has one? I don't know.
Floppy Tits. It's Floppy Tits PhD.
Yeah, player hater degree.
I
know the Reverend has a PhD, but
Carl has a legitimate PhD. We were called Dr. Mann.
Where'd he steal it from?
What happened to Carl? He's here for like 20 seconds the other
Carl
day.
is pussy whipped now and will never be back.
Fucking PhD and goes running away.
He'll be back. All relationships end, and when his ends, he'll be back, and he'll be crying. He'll be saying, "Comfort me, guys. Comfort me. She left me. Comfort me."
I will not comfort him.
My booze isn't enough.
All right. Why don't you guys have a nice conversation about Steven's floppy tits while I write to Austin Arbogast and call him a hot chili pepper eating no show?
Yeah, actually, this will work because I have a question for GD. GD, you're black. You play basketball, right?
I am black, and I did play basketball.
Okay.
I don't now, but I did.
Is there a good remedy to fix a broken or jammed finger? I jammed my finger yesterday playing basketball.
Okay. First of all, don't jam it. That's the first thing I recommend.
See, and I knew that was step one, but I'm not good at steps, so I just flew right past that one. So,
to be honest, I put compression on it to get the fluids out. I used to have finger sleeves. I used to have finger sleeves that are, you know what I'm talking about? Finger sleeves.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So I used to wear them on my jammed finger. Matter of fact, when I played basketball, I used to wear the finger compression sleeves on these 3 fingers on each hand. But not these, because I needed these fingers to actually control the ball. Those are the last finger to lead the ball. And these are the ones, usually the ones that got jammed. And it's because with the motion, I guess fluid just builds up in them from gravity or lack thereof. So the finger sleeves keeps the fluid out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I went for a rebound and I went to catch the ball and the ball just came down and just
yeah. And you probably tried to move your finger. It's just that with the fluid in there, it just didn't move as fast as the other ones. That's why these get jammed the most.
Yeah, it's real stiff. Like I was able to work out this morning. It just like I had to hold everything like this because I can't bend it all the way.
I hold things like that.
So
well, it's not my middle finger; it's my ring finger. But I thought that would have been nicer. But
you were playing basketball,
yeah,
against other guys in chairs or other guys running around.
No, my brother and I were just shooting around.
You keep saying your brother, but you don't have a brother.
I have 2 brothers. I have 2 blood brothers, and I have 1 brother by choice.
Wow.
And I have 2 sisters, also 2 blood sisters.
No, because when I've asked you about your brother, you said, no, I don't have a brother. It's my buddy. I call him a brother. Now you're saying you got... What is the fucking truth? Can you fucking stick to one?
I don't communicate with my actual family a whole lot. Very little.
You said you were playing basketball with your brother.
Yeah.
You weren't communicating with him?
The person I live with.
He's your brother.
He's not my blood brother, but yeah.
GD, are you following any of this?
I've been following it from day one. From day one, I knew that his biological family he was distanced from, and
Did he just say he was playing with his actual brother, playing basketball with his actual
with his brother? Yeah, and I understand what he's talking about. The guy he's living with. I've known that.
He said, because I said this wasn't your real brother. He said, no, it was my real brother. I have two.
No,
brothers.
I said he's not my real brother. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters for real, but I just don't talk to them.
You just can't stick to one fucking lie. You're just not a good liar. You don't even keep your life.
It's been consistent. It's been consistent.
That he's been consistent with since he became a topic a year ago, however long he's been here. Yeah.
I don't like that you're defending him.
I'm not I don't defend people. I tell the truth. That's it.
If I was actually, like fucking up the story and lying, he would have called me out.
Oh yeah. I'd have called him out big time. I'd have called him out and then some. I'd have called him out and a few other things. I'd have called him a home wrecker. I'd have called him a bunch of stuff. I wouldn't have just called him out.
I am not a home wrecker. The woman I am seeing is single. She's not married.
Now,
but
she wasn't when you started.
Calling me. I don't want to talk to anybody from Nutley, New Jersey. It looks like we're not going to get. Could one of you guys whip out a chili pepper and suck it down and let's see what happens if it makes you funny?
No, I'm not stupid.
You're not funny with that.
I have some habanero hot sauce in the fridge. I can go take a spoonful and see if I can survive without drinking anything.
Do something, because I mean.
All right, I'll be back.
Yes,
some hot sauce.
Don't be a snatch. Snatch.
I think you meant snitch.
I think that's what I said. Don't be a snitch, but he said snatch. And
unless he's trying to say don't be a pussy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were going to have a hot pepper talk here.
I thought we was going to have a hot comedian. So, yeah.
Why do I bother putting hot peppers and stuff in the promo if they're not going to show up? I feel used and abused. Almost like I should use a hot pepper as a suppository before I have my dude wipes tested.
Okay. Yeah.
We have this is breaking news, and this is where I live.
Big news. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what the story is? The big story?
No. When you said breaking news, it reminded me of something else. Go ahead.
Oh, you got breaking news over there?
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's breaking. It's broken.
Hot sauce.
Wait, we have a pine beetle warning. You got this? Pine beetle.
What the fuck is a pine beetle?
It's a beetle that likes pine. I don't know. Pine beetle warning.
Mm-hmm.
Suffolk County fire officials say they are worried that a southern pine beetle infestation could spark more wildfires. Don't beetles running around with matches in the woods? Is that what the?
No, I know. So
maybe they kill trees. The trees dry up and they become kindling.
We have similar beetles here that take out our pine trees, and if they fall, the branches get real weak, and as soon as it gets windy or anything,
and then the beetles run up and they see a guy with a cigarette and they grab the cigarette out of his hand and they fly it back to the.
Yes.
Interesting.
I wonder, because we lost in the last storm that we had, the storm that we had last Saturday, or this past Saturday, we lost 9 pine trees in our actually 11 pine trees in our neighborhood. Just pine trees blew over. No other trees blew over. Now I'm wondering if they were compromised because of pine beetles. I just thought it was because they were thin.
What is the difference between last Saturday and this past Saturday?
Thunderstorm.
I want to be clear. That's all. In my mind, there was no difference. But then I thought that maybe someone thought last Saturday was more than 10 days ago.
Did anybody in the chat room or listening on the radio or wherever you might be think that last Saturday was?
I don't know what anybody thinks because I can't read thoughts.
I'm asking them what they think, and I want to find out what they think. This is how we learn. We ask them, and I'm.
You want me to get the hot sauce or no?
Yes.
No. Wipe it on your buttocks.
Wait, do you
it's habanero. No.
Yeah. Wipe it on your buttocks and then try it with a dude wipe.
Do you have dude wipes available and ready?
No.
Why not?
Because they're a sponsor.
What kind of dude doesn't have a
They're not a sponsor.
yet.
Well,
you think Big Guns Coffee is going to jump on the sponsorship offer?
I hope not. No, I don't know.
Why do you hope not? It would be doing a good thing. We'd be helping vets find a home if Steven's butt was
he didn't say how much the money went to the vets, did he?
What are you doing, nibbling on it? Well,
just took a whole spoonful.
No, it's just the funny thing is, before he came on, before I read this, I was thinking because of...
Stop, I'm already sweating.
I just got distracted for a second. What happened? Whoa!
So
you
bad.
got distracted because you were expecting floppy tits. And
I didn't think he was going to stop. Well, it just all of a sudden he came forward. I didn't know he was going to stop. I didn't see.
Stop.
It doesn't get low. It comes forward. And I didn't know he was going to stop. It's like, whoa, stop. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So, Steven, what are you experiencing at this moment? I'm just wondering how
I feel like I just licked
the mind bloom that you've already been on.
I feel like I just put a big spoonful of like really hot food in my mouth. My tongue just hurts. And my throat burns.
So you don't want to be the aide coming by to clean up Steven's diaper later on.
I don't know. I might wish I wore diapers.
What does he say? I can't see that.
Bet his floppy tits are going to sweat through his shirt.
Let's see. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if you know this about Steven.
They're not floppy. They don't flop.
Yeah, that's right. So it'd be lactating, not sweating.
Before we went on the air, and Steven doesn't know that I was watching when he was doing it. He was actually showing his floppy tits to the camera. I don't know why he was doing that because I hadn't mentioned
that was just for you guys. You know, you weren't supposed to say anything.
Nobody had. He didn't know that he was assigned a new nickname as Floppy Tits, or not even Ortiz. It's O'Floppy, or something.
Steven O'Floppy Tits.
Yeah. What is that on the auction thing? What is that going for? The O'Floppy Tits as the last name?
I don't know. He hasn't put a bid in. He hasn't put a bid in yet, so we'll see.
Cheap fuck. He's a cheap fuck. Right? At least I put in a bid of $1.01, but I got outbid pretty quick, didn't I?
You did.
So it's up to $25. Why don't you just take that $25 and run with it? You're not going to get more than that. You think you're going to get more than that?
No, I don't.
You're just making faces over there. Don't be just making faces. Answer me, goddammit. I'll put the light
I feel like
on.
I'm going to throw up now. I didn't eat breakfast. All I've had this morning was water and hot sauce.
Stupid. No, we didn't make you do something stupid. For the record, you volunteered to do something stupid.
Because we were going to have hot peppers on. And
I know. Well, where the fuck is this Austin Abergast? Makes his wife do it, too. Comedian telling jokes while eating peppers. I don't get it. I don't get why. That wouldn't make me more inclined to buy a ticket. Oh, they're going to be eating peppers? Tell me David Tell's going to be there. I will be more. I would bid, but I'm short on cash. Hint, hint. What do you mean short on cash? Hint, hint. What's the hint, hint? He wants money. Steven, send him some money. You owe him money.
I'm gonna pay him to see his floppy tits.
Do you owe him money? You're not paying you for your beaver.
For the beaver.
What happened? What am I missing here? TD, do you follow this? You said you follow it right from the start. What am I not clued in on?
I followed his genealogy. I didn't follow anything beyond his memories or anything like that, or the
memories.
Corners of his mind. I did not follow that.
Do you this is terrible. Do you think now I'm under an obligation with this Tony Walker thing to have a great time on Saturday? Because I don't feel like I signed up for it. We'll have a great time. I never signed up for that. I'm going to have a terrible time. I'm already not going to sleep over it. I really should read the script and practice. You want to have a little rehearsal here? I'll send you guys the script and we could do it online.
No.
You don't want to do it.
No.
You don't want to see me make a fool of myself? I thought you lived for that.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
actually,
I do.
No.
You do. Steven does and you don't. So you guys figure it out between yourselves. I'll be here when you're...
Well, he only counts as 3/5 of a vote, so...
Oh.
That's true, but 3/5 of 10 is still bigger than 100% of 2.
Ooh. Anyway, the point is I'm going to suck. I know I'm going to suck. and I'm not going to have a great time. But now he's insisting that I have a great time, and I'm conflicted. Maybe I should just not show up. Stephen, he did ask.
I didn't think he was insisting that you have a good time. I think he was just letting you know that I thought he said we're going to have a good time, or like it's going to be a good time.
So he's fucking Dusty Slay now.
I don't know what that is.
Dusty Slay is a comedian who's.
I learned that yesterday, but I don't know enough about.
His comedic tagline is "We're having a good time."
Oh, so I wouldn't have known that because I did. Up until yesterday, I didn't even know he was a comedian. I'll forget that. I'll forget that by tomorrow morning.
We're having a good time.
That's nice.
If you say that to him on Twitter,
bless his heart,
he'll like it and retweet it. I've done it like 15 times just to test him out. All I say is I repeat his own fucking tagline to him, and he likes it and retweets it.
Yeah, that sounds like someone who's really insecure.
Or maybe he's just having a good time.
Or really insecure.
Or, at least every
did anyone know that? See, I was just curious as the way that our previous guest was talking about his daughter. It was and his family unit. It almost because he's talking about the family unit, but he never mentioned his wife. As part of the family unit, like,
Do they really matter?
Yeah, it did. It mattered because he was talking about the influence. He was talking about family unit, how it's important it is, and influence. But he doesn't. But it's almost like
the woman. You talk about 3/5 of women. Like it's not even a fifth.
I thought a woman was 70%, not 3/5.
No. They're insignificant. They're just there for so you don't need Steven for the floppy tits. They bring their own.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And now, for the women out there, obviously, I'm joking.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Because he's not joking.
I am joking. No. I think women are better than men. I think they're the superior of gender. I do. Listen, I have troubles like passing a kidney stone. I could never imagine giving birth to like a.
Women have trouble passing kidney stones too.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a 250-pound baby.
Your poor mom.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
But Matt was born in installments, so he had to come out all at once.
Leg, torso, head, arms.
GD texted us last night something. I don't know why he felt compelled to tell us is that he lost weight. LOS. Tim lost.
Okay.
Weight.
First of all, I responded to someone wrote, "I miss you guys a ton."
No, I put appreciate, not miss.
Oh,
I don't know if you were responding to something that wasn't in that chat, like a private.
You have a senior moment.
No, someone wrote. I thought they wrote, "I miss you guys a ton," but okay, I appreciate you guys a ton. So I was thinking, okay, I'm not a ton. I've lost weight. I'm under 250 or something.
Lost. Oh, anyway.
It's like when you have an old guy. Hey, how are you doing today? I lost 250 pounds.
I see. Yeah.
Slappity.
All right.
So I was responding to, I appreciate you guys a ton.
It makes sense now that you've explained it. Thank you very much.
But now I need to explain it again.
GD was responding to floppy tits saying he appreciates the ton. Appreciates a ton, and GD was saying he lost weight. He's not quite 250 yet. How much do you weigh? Do you know?
Actually, I weigh 217 pounds, give or take a few ounces.
Nice job, man.
Yeah, but I was 204. I was 203.
So you didn't lose weight. You gained weight. You lied.
No, before I was 217, before I was 203, I did lose a lot of weight to get down to 203. And then my doctor says, we only want you to lose 4 more pounds. And I've put on 13 pounds since then.
I'm down to 271.
Yeah. So I would like to get down to 199.
How much you think I weigh?
220.
Oh, no. I think you're 273. And a palm. With fingers.
If I tell you how much I weigh, you're going to say, wow, you are a fat fuck.
No, I wouldn't assume you're fucking anything.
Yeah, and I also don't think you're like fat. I've seen you.
Oh, no. I am. I'm just hiding it in the dark back here. It's all.
No, I've seen you in person. What are you talking about?
Matt grew up in this age where we didn't have fat clothes. We had husky. That was the large clothes. Remember those Matt Sears husky jeans?
I'm pretty certain I'm pretty sure I even told GD while we were on Long Island. I was like, I think Matt would have been a badass like 10 years ago. Like he's a scary dude.
Oh, I misheard you. I remember the comment. I really misheard you. I thought you said you wanted his ass badly.
No, I thought you said no. I thought he was. I was like, yeah, I was like, Matt's a big dude. I bet he was a badass back in the day.
I thought you said, check out Matt. I want that ass bad. That's what I thought. So now it makes sense.
And so after
that comment has haunted me since then.
After he saw me doing a shirtless video, he thinks I'm into gay porn or I'm a gay porn star. And that's legitimate. That's a legitimate thing. With all the weird chains and stuff.
Yeah, dude, you looked like Rod's algorithm.
I was making fun of at the time the cheap bling. At the time I did that video was like the late 90s or whatever. Or right around 2000, maybe like beginning of pop American Idol, because the Idol thing is in there, and I thought that was kind of funny, being the statue. But there was just like a fad of cheap bling. Like guys weren't going out and getting gold necklaces and stuff. They were going to the dollar store and getting fucking dog chains and wearing that as bling. It's like, what the fuck is this stuff? So I thought I was making fun of that, but obviously it doesn't have a shelf life, that fucking joke.
It's a few years after my stripper career ended, but I still hadn't lost my tone yet. So I still wanted to be noticed a little bit. And I used to get this clothing magazine called American Male. And I said, man, these guys look good.
That sounds gay.
It turns out it is a gay magazine. I did not know that. And I was buying clothes. out of American Male, thinking, I'm going to look hot, you know?
You did look hot to some guy.
How do you not know American Male is gay? Listen,
How would I know? How would I know? There was no one.
You've been on the show. You've been educated in gayness.
No,
we had
this is
a gay expert, an expert in gayologist.
No, this is like I said. This was a while ago. This is back when I was in my 30s. I said shortly after my stripper career was over, which was in the 20s. So I was in my 30s, and I hadn't lost my stripper body yet. But I kind of liked the attention I was getting from being a stripper. So I said, I'm going to dress a little more provocative. And I used to get magazines in the mail all the time because I ordered a teddy for a friend of mine, a young lady. I ordered a teddy. And so then I started getting magazines like Victoria's Secret, Pictures of Hollywood, and then I would order more teddies. And so I get more magazines. Next thing I'm getting American Male and some other magazines. But American Male, I was like, I like these clothes because it showed off the muscles and stuff.
So the assless chaps weren't.
I didn't see assless chaps.
Or like the fishnet tank tops or any of that.
I didn't.
Wait, he's defending GD's honor. Let's see what he has to say here. I have to defend GD. They sent me that catalog as well, but I thought it was obvious that it was a magazine targeted at gay males. All right.
See, and I didn't. I just knew that I wanted to show off what I had. And in this magazine, there are these guys wearing these clothes and showing off their package, showing off their abs and their muscles. And I went, yeah, I'm going to dress like that. You know, I want them to see. And so I didn't know. And I found out because I was at a party and this woman said to me, you know, you're dressed like a gay man. I went, what? A woman told me that she says, I take that back. She said to me, what she said was, where'd you get that outfit? And I said, American Male. She goes, oh, because that looks kind of girly. No, whoa, no, this is like guys are wearing this. You know, men with ripped muscles and abs.
The odd part of this whole story is that you really think that was a woman. It was just.
Oh, I know it was a woman because she was married to a friend of mine.
That doesn't mean. Listen, Jimmy Norton is married to.
And we're still friends. and we're still friends this year. I've known, and I know her family.
Have you seen her cock?
She doesn't have one.
How do you know?
She doesn't have one.
Oh,
you know?
No, he's a homewrecker. That's how he knows. He's a homewrecker.
And it's one of his friends that he was sucking.
You fucked your friend's wife?
He was sucking his friend's wife's cock. Is what we got out of that story.
Now who's the homewrecker?
Well, they say there's nothing more manly than banging another man. Sorry, that's what GD said.
I don't think I said that. I don't think banging
Play
came
back
out of
the
my
tape. I didn't catch that.
No, yeah. No,
Play the
I didn't even say the clothes was banging. I said the clothes look good. I don't even think banging came in. I don't even think the word banging left my mouth.
It did now.
Yeah, but that was because I was induced into saying it.
I was just thinking that the one benefit of having Willie on the program was it disguised what a fucking egomaniac you are, because we know that Willie was delusional and still is delusional about whatever he thinks of himself. He just has delusions of grandeur or whatever. But it covered up for the fact that you are a complete narcissist, egomaniac, in love with yourself.
No, I like myself.
What I had. I don't know if you know this about me, but I was a stripper. And
I don't have to preface that sentence like that. I don't have to say, you didn't know that. I will say, I didn't know this about me, but
you did. You're just Willie in blackface.
I don't think so.
Willie Mays.
Look, you guys made
you
guys made each other laugh out loud on this program. I like that. That's an encouraging thing. If one of you would ever make me laugh out loud, that would be the cherry on the. I
did say this to Steven when Steven said that he was quitting because of how mean and nasty you and Ron were. I said to Steven, I'm really going to miss you because you're the only person who actually laughs at anything I say. You know, I mean, Ron, the only even when I'm like at open mics and stuff, Ron does not laugh unless I say something really dark and perverted.
Does Ron laugh at any comedian though? Because it seems to me like even when he gives high praise to something, it wasn't that. It wasn't bad.
He laughed at some of my jokes at Governor's.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
But he ain't laughing at mine.
I have it on tape. I will verify this.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, because I was look.
Sure that was the laugh.
Low key.
Just in case you sucked, and I needed it.
Well, low key, I wanted to impress you guys too, so I at least wanted to see if you guys laughed, and you guys at least chuckled a little bit. So.
I promise you, I didn't. I was crying. I'm like, please let me out of here. Why did I come? Why did I drive all the distance?
I did laugh. Now, the funny thing is when Ron watches me, I know I have 3 jokes that when I tell them, Ron knows the punchline. So if he sees me setting up for those 3 particular jokes or those particular punchlines, he actually changes his body posture and he gets ready for it. You know, even though he knows what I'm going to say.
He goes, huh?
Yeah, because he likes them because they're like really, you know, they're close to dirty or vulgar or insulting or something like that. Most of my stuff is not like that kind of insulting.
When you say changes his body posture, is it like this?
No, he gets ready to hear it. He's he mentions if he's writing, he'll put down his pen and he'll sit up or he'll lean in a little.
He'll go.
Yeah, and he'll start to smile. And then once I deliver,
now you're stretching the truth. I've never seen Ron smile.
I have.
In the 30 years he was on this program, I never saw him smile once.
No, he did smile because this one made him smile.
Are you a retard?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the things that makes Ron smile are not the things that make the average individual smile. You know,
ooh, that's tasty.
Yeah, I'm like the first time I heard it the first time that was a tag at the end of one of his videos, it was like a really disgusting video. Then he goes, that's tasty, and I went, okay, that's cute. But then he started, and then Matt said something positive about it, and then it was like at the end of every one of his videos. I'm like, okay, now I'm tired of seeing it. It's like, I am tired. Okay, I got it. It's tasty. It's tasty. It's tasty.
I don't like the whole it's that's tasty thing.
Yeah, but you said something positive about it, and it just wound up being in the end of almost every video he did with us.
It doesn't sound like me saying anything positive. It doesn't sound like the me I know of me.
Yeah, yeah, but you also did remember saying something else that that John, Mr. Beavers, heard, and you.
No, this is a good point that John brings up. He just looks at he hates looking at the Amish dude with the floppy tits. It could be
okay.
Yeah, so Ron has something of a dark sense of humor.
No way.
Yeah, well, I know. Some of you are surprised.
Never have guessed that.
Yeah.
Does he get perverted too?
Sometimes,
Are you guys expecting your Ron person to be here tomorrow or not? Because we could have used.
I would hope so.
With Miss Arbogast. Now this Arbogast guy. Why am I more upset at him than usual for these comedians? Because usually the comedians show up. It's the authors who don't show up, right?
I don't know. To me, it's 50-50. I think as many comedians diss us as authors. It just seems like there's more authors because we have more authors in sheer number, I think. But I think probably percentage-wise, the authors, musicians, they're just creatives. They're all the same. You can swap one out and replace it with another. They're all the same.
I don't see. He's not returning my emails. I don't have his phone number. I would call him on air and say, "Hey, dude, you got me all excited about this hot chili pepper thing. I thought we were gonna get flea or that." Well,
I can be really intrusive and go to his Facebook page and call him on his phone using Facebook. That would be intrusive.
Do that. Do that. Could you do that? Could you do it online so we can hear?
I don't know if I can do it so you can hear. I can put it on speaker. Maybe.
Yeah, hold them. You put it on speaker. Hold the phone up to the microphone. Let's embarrass somebody. Press 1 if you consent to record now.
Beep.
There you go. I didn't know my finger did that beep on its own.
Beep.
Damn it! How did I just screw something up here? Just give me a second here.
I'm giving you a second one.
Okay.
So speaking of a second, I put something in the microwave last night for 2 minutes. And then I went and grabbed the plate, fucking burned my hand, fucking lost everything that was. It was 2 minutes should not be.
I've done the same thing. It doesn't make any sense to me either.
2 minutes should not be. It should be illegal to make things so hot that you're going to burn your hand. It's a faulty design on the microwave, I think.
Well, what kind of plate was it? Because some plates get hotter than others.
It was one of these big old bowl, like the big old
glass.
No, it wasn't glass. It was one of those. Come on, what's the word I'm looking for?
Polyurethane.
Yeah, no. What?
Rubber.
Tupperware. No,
Tupperware.
Not Tupperware.
Teflon.
Something like that. Whatever. It's a titty, floppy titty.
Floppy titty bowl, and it got hot. That makes sense.
But it got too hot. It's supposed to be for the microwave.
Okay,
that's weird.
Try this.
Okay, let's try that. That sounded like that's tasty. Are you the voice behind
that's tasty?
No.
This is the worst show. It started out good. It started out inspiring. We had T. Shane Johnson, and then
so his page is not like a standard page where you can go to message.
It's a comedy. I could give you the URL there. It's what is it? It's in the banners there. It's
It's not letting me call. It's a different type of page. It's like a fan page or something. It's not like an individual.
That cock sucking hot chili peppin'. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness! Look,
what?
Ron's on TV. I mean, he's.
Oh, it's Ron. Hey.
Where is he? What does he do?
No, Ron's doing it short.
He's on Kill Tony?
Looks like he's promoting a show. It says tickets at daveattell.com. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I thought it was Ron. some guy named Dave Attell. I don't even know who.
What a phony! He's not the real Ron Kane.
I know.
I've been on like an emotional roller coaster here this morning. I started out angry, then I got happy because of T. Shane Johnson, and now I'm angry again.
Okay.
What do you got?
Nothing. I couldn't do what I thought I was going to do. I can't call him.
Maybe I can. You guys have a conversation between yourselves while I see if I can.
I have a question for Steven.
Okay.
Steven, you're black and used to play basketball, right?
Yep. I did until I got a hand injury and then I turned white.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently a guy in a wheelchair doesn't make a good center. Who would have thought?
But it makes a good centerpiece if you chalk the wheels.
It's not wrong. Not wrong. Actually, I put that on my Tinder profile. Makes a great centerpiece.
Do I have to be friends with him in order to use this phone thing? Because it's not letting me do it. I'm on his.
Right, it wouldn't let me friend him. I could just follow him or book him, and I was like, "No, I'm not booking you."
That's the comedy page, but what is this? Air Bartron 3. What is Air Bartron 3? That's his regular page. Facebook.com/ARBOTRON 3. Abatron. Whatever. Abatron 3. That's like a fucking video game or something. Anyway,
I've seen that word behind a lot of things. Is that like a default page or something? You think? I don't know.
Huh.
And anyway, so like I said, I was really, really happy. Yesterday after I finished cutting my grass, it was the happiest I've ever been at the cutting my grass because it took me a while to fix my tractor mower. And
I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad that worked out for you.
I was when I finished, when I put in the new part and I went to start it up and it started up and kept running, I started dancing. I did my little, that famous no.
Wow, he's friends with Andy Andrus, Corbin LeMaster, James Inman, and Brett Erickson and Chad Shank.
That could be why he didn't show up.
Well, that lends some credibility to him that he's friends with these guys because this is what I look for. I get friends requests all the time, and I look at the mutual friends, and if they don't have people I think are dependable and credible, I won't add them. But
and why'd you add me?
Inman, I would not call credible or dependable.
Then why'd you add me then?
You had friends in common with me that I saw.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
I forget who they were. Probably
it wasn't me. That's for sure.
So nobody told me growing up that like if you're single in your 30s and you start dating, that everybody has kids. Everybody has kids.
Almost, because I didn't. But then
almost everybody has kids. Like almost 90% of the people on there, and the ones that don't have kids, kind of you can see why. And it's just like, but it's like, man, it's just. I guess I see why MILFs are such a big deal for people.
Is this a problem? You don't like kids? I thought you did like kids. I thought that
he doesn't want. The thing is, he gets attached, and then the law gets involved, and he can't see him anymore.
In a world full of lies, where voices have no shame.
I love that song. Can you send me that? I'm gonna put that on my playlist. He can't
copyright it, so he can't send it to you.
I guess it's.
Well, you can copyright the lyrics, right? You just can't copyright the music.
Oh, I just want to. I literally just want to put it.
Yeah, you can copyright the lyrics. You cannot copyright the music.
I just want to put it on my jamming playlist so I can listen to it in the car.
Well, I really did write the music too. I wrote out the chord chart for it, and so I gave it stylistic cues and things like that. I mean, legitimately, I wrote the music.
So pretty much, it'll be like if you wrote everything and hired a band to play your music.
Yeah,
except
or
you didn't pay the band. Well, are you paying for Are you paying for the software, the app, or is the app a free app?
No, it's not a free app. It's
okay, so it sounds to me like you actually hired the band to play the music that you wrote. I don't see.
If
I were your lawyer, I would defend you and say you can copyright the whole damn thing.
There's a YouTube lawyer, music industry lawyer, who's got a pretty successful channel. I can't remember her name, but she talks about these issues all the time. I have invited her on the program to talk about some of this stuff, copyright stuff, and people, because I found out about it. I don't know if you know about this, but there's a thing there where guys are faking, not people are faking, not just guys, faking auditions or performances on America's Got Talent and The Voice. They're taking green screen stuff and using all the branding of and making it seem like they were in front of the judges and all that stuff, and they weren't. And this is a big thing. It's like a trending thing where people are just doing fakes of American Idol and the America's Got Talent or whatever, and the Voice and all this stuff. They're faking performances on there, putting it out and getting millions of views, and the whole thing is just completely fake. It's like we're living in a plastic time where everything is fucking fake.
Wow,
but I would like to get this lawyer on to talk about this stuff.
That's amazing. I actually, because I thought about doing it as a joke, but I thought, no, I didn't want to.
As a joke, it's good.
Yeah,
I think as a joke,
I was going to do it as a joke, but then I thought people might get It's I don't like to mislead
well,
people.
Right, but some people do call him out as like this is phony, and they don't admit it. I mean, if you do it as a joke, of course it's a joke, and you're not gonna be like defensive about it.
If you lean into being honest about it and you're like, hey, check out this thing I made, or someone says this is bullshit, and you're like, I know, but isn't it great? Like, admit it, have fun with it, but don't pass it off as legit work. Like that's.
But there are people actually making big YouTube, because they get like 20 million views on it, and that's a $2,000 check or whatever it is. It's not like you get rich, but I mean, you
buy me a car.
Fraudulent work. So, but I would love to get this lawyer on to talk about all the stuff music-wise, because this Giacomo stuff is still eating at me. Apparently, he's not just stealing people's work. He is, because I've followed this guy for years and thought, wow, he's a really talented guitar player. Turns out he's not even that talented a guitar player. He's slowing everything down, filming stuff at like 120 frames per second so he could play like songs at like a quarter speed of what they are and doing it with tab and then speeding it back up to make it look like he's playing.
So he's filming it basically in half speed and then playing it at regular speed to look like he's playing it at the right speed.
Yeah, even quarter speed. But also, yes.
That's crazy though.
Heavily edited, mimed, and recorded it at quarter speed, half speed, whatever, with tabs to tell him where to put the fingers. And he's been doing this for years.
So he's a total fraud.
Total. And then not crediting the original author. And now, these are not pop tunes, right? These are fucking jazz and fusion stuff. Not like you'd have to be a really analytical musician to even know that. I'm surprised he got caught because you wouldn't recognize the tunes. Like it's just shredding and stuff. I'm like, who recognizes that shred?
Probably just the person who made it.
Yeah, but that's not the case. Most of the time it's Sapco and people like that who just watch it. So how many times do you have to watch it and say, hey, that sounds like Jack Gardner's like riff? Like
there could just be some people out there who
I know that riff.
Could just be some connoisseurs of music, they just have a good ear for it, and then that's how these fraudsters get caught, is because people who actually love music,
right,
and appreciate the art hear it and they go, whoa, I recognize that, because they have a good ear, and they get called out.
Right,
yeah,
they should be.
Some of my friends are like that about classical music. They'll hear a piece and go they'll hear like a small phrase or a little theme and go, oh no, that's Bach or that's Beethoven or that's Debussy or something.
Well, it only takes a couple words from lyrics or something for a song to pop into my head, So like
up these fucking people that drive me crazy, like the buskers, and not just buskers, but people actually playing club, getting paid gigs in a club, and they're using backing tracks, and they're not even really playing to the backing track. It's one thing if you leave the acoustic guitar track out of it, and then you're actually playing the part and singing the part. But these are people that just really miming for money.
See, that shit pisses me off. There's so many people, comedians included, who put so much fucking work and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into what they do. Then you get these pieces of fucking shit that can just fake it, and they get so much out of it. It's so frustrating. It's wild. it's a really wild thing to see. Like, it hasn't happened to me personally, but just imagining seeing that happen would destroy me. Like, I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
Like 20 years of practice into that, and this guy fucking pops up and pretends and makes money off of it. Fuck that
right.
guy.
And this Giacomo guy, first of all, and you know what, he is not just ripping off their work. Now, obviously, like there's not a high demand for like fusion jazz stuff. I mean, it's not like the most popular. It's not like on Spotify getting downloaded, but he's getting far more views. Like Jack Gardner's work, Jack Gardner will get 60,000 views, and that's a lot. But whatever that comes out to in YouTube dollars, like $60 or something. It's fucking crazy little money. But then Giacomo will get 2 million views on that, or even more, and get a bigger check on that. Then he goes and sells the tabs as if they're his own tabs. And then he takes endorsements from guitar companies and takes that money. And when he gets called out on it, all he says is, I won't do that again. I'm sorry. It was just I thought was error. I won't do that again. And then he does it again after he gets called out on it. And he doesn't even credit the people. He's stealing money from them. When he gets caught, he says, oh, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. And then he does it again. That's just despicable. That's and that guy deserves all the hate he gets from that.
Yeah, that's gross, man. I just don't I don't even understand how you can be okay with yourself doing that.
Yeah, and then continue doing it. Like if I if God forbid I did something that immoral or unethical, and somebody called me out on it, I'd probably go into hiding. Go move to like Elba, and let's live my day on a deserted island. And until nobody, and hope even the rabbits and whatever animals live there wouldn't make fun of me for being, oh, aren't you that dude from the internet? It's like no shame, no embarrassment. Where's your conscience? Do you have a conscience? That's where.
I mean, it's like you're literally taking somebody's work who's put potentially all their life into this work, and you're making a joke by fucking around with it and pretending it's your own. Like it's gross. It really is gross.
Worse. It gets worse.
Oh, how can it get worse?
Because some of the music was matched.
No, he does things. He includes other players, like bass players and other players in his videos, and they have to know that this is just fraud. They're miming along, and they're
maybe because I mean, I just playing devil's advocate. These could just be people that maybe don't have an ear for guitar, and they just and they're just focused on what they're doing.
Their parts too. They're in the video. They're faking a song.
Actually miming it as well.
Yeah, they're all faking it.
Come on.
So, and he's recruiting people who know that this is fraud, and they're all smiling along. They high five at the end of every one of these videos, like we did a great job there. Like
it's funny. My friend who was my bass player in the band, he written this piece he wrote it using sequencers. So he did all the drums, the bass, all the strings and everything, but did it on a sequencer. And the object was he wanted us to perform it. And when he got to the guitar part, I could do most of the guitar part. And then he got to this guitar lick. And I said, there's no way I can play that. That's not even, he goes, because it starts off with a really fast lick. And then he starts doing what in the jazz business I was called a double stop. You're playing two notes at the same time, but like at lead guitar speed, And I'm like, okay, I can play that, but I can't play that fast. I could do those notes, but not like can't do that. And he goes,
wait, can you sing that part one more time?
I don't like playing it. If I do it twice, somebody just rewind it because somebody will steal it. Somebody will steal that riff. And, I know it's Jocko. What's his name? Jocko Homo will steal it.
Jocko Homo.
Will steal the riff, and he'll put a tablet out there, and the next thing you know, he'll be using my riff that I just stole from my friend Phil, and making money off of it.
For $10,000, I will change my last name to Jocko Homo.
Jocko Homo. Well, let's barter here. How about $50? Jocko Homo.
Oh, sorry, did I say it wrong?
Jocko Homo.
Oh, I said it wrong. Okay, because I was thinking like Devo had a song called Jocko Homo.
This was part of my thing with the Ken Tamplin stuff too, because people said he was lip syncing live. So he's lip syncing live, like he's out there singing with his band, and then gets to the high notes. So the people in the band have to know this, right? The people who he's playing with, and the sound man has to know that because he's running the tape and pulling out the microphone. So all these people are complicit in it. Like, and I know people will sign NDAs, but nobody really is ever held to it. First of all, what kind of fucking sellout do you have to be to keep this guy's secret that he's fucking ripping people off? I don't know. I feel like we've lost all sense of decency in any artistic stuff and honesty. Like, whenever I've done that, if anybody would say, well, you didn't really, that's not you playing live. This is kind of like a early Beatles or MTV thing where you're just in the studio doing it for the sake of the video. Cop to it. Yeah, that's what I did. But we've lost any kind of decency in admitting it's just entertainment, folks. Yes, that's not us in concert. That's a music video.
I don't know if I told y'all this before, y'all can just say Ibit and then fast forward through the tape and skip right through it. But when I was doing comedy, after I finished my first quote 90-minute special, after I finished that and had the DVD out and I was selling it at shows and stuff, I'd kind of like disappeared from my regular open mic crowd. And in that time, my nephew had outgrown a bunch of clothes, and he gave me these clothes. I don't know anything about fashion labels, as obviously you can tell from my American Male story. I don't know anything about labels or anything like that. And my nephew gives me a bunch of, like 6 pairs of jeans. And to me, they're just jeans. And so they were used because they were my nephew's. But my nephew took such good care of his clothes. He'd never washed his jeans in a washing machine. His jeans he had dry cleaned, so they didn't fade and stuff like that. So to most people, they just look new. I show up, I'm wearing these jeans, and people are saying, "Man, you're doing really good for yourself." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Your clothes, man." I'm like, "What? Those jeans cost like $450." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Nobody pays $450 for jeans." And I know my nephew; he's not spending $400 on jeans. So I called my nephew, and some other people at the same place said, "Aren't you afraid somebody's going to rob you because you're wearing those jeans and you got on white you have a platinum wedding band?" I'm like, "No, this isn't platinum. This is white gold, and these jeans are just hand-me-downs. What are you talking about?" So I called my nephew, and my nephew goes, "Oh yeah, those are True Religion jeans. They're expensive." I said, $450. He says, I didn't pay $450. I paid $200 for him. I'm like, okay,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is, people thought I was like doing really well in comedy because I was wearing these $400 jeans that he only paid $200 for. That I didn't pay anything for. He just lost weight. He didn't outgrow them. He lost weight and couldn't wear them, so he gave them to his fat uncle.
Maybe he stole them off a homo.
Well, he said
maybe he jacked a homo.
Yeah, or an American Male, whatever.
Jacked an American Male.
I got a text message. Yeah. I want to know what you guys make of this. Text message: crispy fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Get a taste of it now. No charge to you. Try it now.
Okay.
Was that supposed to go to GD?
It said mashed potatoes, not watermelon.
Okay.
I like mashed potatoes.
I was gonna say that gets you get that on a plate of soul food, some mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do? Text him back and say, "Yeah, okay, send it to me." I mean, what kind of text is that?
Don't interact with it, please.
Somebody I don't know.
They'll send you the picture. You say yes, they send you the picture, then you go.
Matt, I get old people in my store all day long who click on text messages like that, and then they get their credit card information stolen.
No link. That's what I'm saying. It's just that there's nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna respond.
It's a text message in my messaging. I have my phone messaging stuff on my screen, and it just comes up. Fried chicken.
What number is it from?
It doesn't say. Hold on, I can find out what number, right? How do you find out what number? Because it just says
it should just
from
be at the top.
Oh, it said the number is just 67344. That's it.
So
no, like full phone number.
That sounds like an automated thing. So
yeah, that's
automated. Why they even send that if there's nothing? There's no link for me.
Maybe
to
it's a
click.
test. Maybe it's a trial balloon. It's like they want to see if it's working or something. I don't know.
I just want fried chicken now.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
I'm not going to get it from them. I'm going to go to Stop and Shop, and where they already
the closest place to you. They probably did it. Maybe it's a consortium. Maybe it's a chicken consortium.
Maybe it was Stop and Shop that sent it to you. Are you a rewards member?
No, I'm not a rewards.
Would you like to be? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would like to be. No,
that's my other job. I sell memberships to.
I wouldn't even know. By the way, I got lots of different cards. People are sending me gift cards for like Applebee's, even Burger King. Like, I got a Burger King gift card. I would never use that. I will use that.
I'll use that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I love I get the Impossible Burgers.
Ugh.
Wait, what's an Impossible Burger?
It's impossible to say.
It's a bunch of fucking mystery shit made to taste like meat.
No, it's
where is that? Applebee's or Burger King?
Plants made to taste like meat.
Burger King.
Burger King has an Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Then maybe they ought to take burger out of their name and put Impossible King.
But they have other burgers. They still have their regular 100%
that are possible.
Patties.
They have possible burgers and one impossible.
They have possible burgers and an impossible burger and chicken burgers.
And possibly chicken too.
And possibly chicken.
And possibly potatoes.
Possibly fish.
Possibly onion rings.
And possible diarrhea. So
now how's that?
They're dessert cones. Their dessert cones are not ice cream. I think they come out and say dessert cones, and if you read the ingredients, it's like wheat and whey or something.
Plastic.
Yeah,
how's that hot dog working its way out to Uranus? By the way, can we get an update on where it is?
It's almost there. It's at Pluto right now. It's at Neptune. It's almost there.
This part of my body is cool now, but I can definitely feel it in my stomach. It's gonna burn later for sure.
And you did that for to sacrifice yourself for this program?
Yep. That's how dedicated I am.
I gotta hand it to you. I gotta hand it to you. When I say hand it to you, I mean fist up your ass. As bad, the little programming note, as bad as this program has been today. And listen,
I would say he's not in the room by himself.
I would say the first hour of today's show was pretty good. I think not bad, as Ron Kane would say, which is an extreme rave from Ron Kane. But tomorrow is going to be far worse than today, because tomorrow we have two dudes who can't follow instructions. We have.
Wait a minute, we're right here. Steven and I are right here. Why do you
got to talk about us like we're not even hearing you, Jerry?
You guys follow instructions. It's fine. When I say shut the fuck up, you do.
Okay.
But tomorrow we have two dudes who can't follow instruction. Where are they?
We're right here. Why are you doing that?
Disrespectful.
It's not you. It's Chris Fritz and Isaac Ignacio Bennett are the two.
What'd you call me?
Exactly.
He called you a Fritz.
They sign up.
Yeah.
And right
crispy Fritz.
When you sign up to be a guest on the show, it asks you to give us some information so we know something about who the fuck you are. And neither one of these guys put that in.
That was wasn't that a Pete Townsend song? Who the fuck are you? Who
are you? Who the fuck are you? Yes.
Who the fuck are you?
So on Sunday, when I was preparing the buckets for this week, I emailed them and said, "You gotta give me some. I gotta know something about." Like the one guy, he just gave me his name, John. I was like, "You can't be on the program. You won't even give a last name."
His name's just John.
Oh, John.
Maybe he's like Cher.
Crazy John from the Bible. Is that John?
Bivens?
John Bivens?
No, it's just bring me the head of John.
By the way, shout out to my followers on X.
How many of them we got?
We've been floating between 6 and 10.
Wow, not bad. Not bad for a floppy tits motherfucker.
Better than what I would get. Yeah. Now, the tennis shoe behind my head.
I love those, by the way. I saw those on Facebook the other day, and I love them.
Oh,
what are they?
Back when I played basketball, those were the shoes I wore. And
I dig those. Those are cool.
People
Converse,
thought,
baby.
Again, people thought, you got a shoe deal? I said, do you think I'd be playing in this gym with you guys if I had a shoe deal? No, I paid the shoe company to put my name and number on the side of the shoe.
Converse.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't Converse that I paid.
Oh,
it was
I get solicited every day for my own shoe brand to have your own shoe brand.
Well, I don't know if you know this about Converse, but
about you.
They you can go to their website and you can custom make your own shoes through them.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what you did because those are cool.
Well, we could do like a drop shipping company for Mind Dog shoes and put them in the merch stuff, and we could have GD.
I'll wear them on stage. My shoes.
Well, that's what happened. I had so many pairs of shoes that after I quit basketball and I started doing comedy, I started wearing them on stage.
See, Steven says he'll wear them on stage, but he's never on stage. He's on the floor, and his feet are under a fucking table near the stage. Nobody's going to be looking down.
No. Oh. Most of the shows I'm on don't even have stages, so it's not a problem.
So basically, nobody would see the shoes anyway.
No, they do. If you look at all the pictures of me on Facebook when I'm on stage doing my thing, or if I'm just up there with the mic, you can see my shoes.
Matt, you've seen the lighting. You know the lighting is not on his face, so it probably is on his shoes. That's probably
it usually is. It's usually no face.
Yeah, they don't light his face; they light his shoes every time.
And Matt, for the record, I took your advice, and I have not worn a hat during a performance in a long time.
Wow.
So you didn't take it. You said in a long time. That means you're wearing it again?
No, up until he said something, I'd always worn a hat because it's just I did. So I either don't wear the hat or it's worn backwards, but my face is no longer obstructed.
Because you're you're insecure about being bald like Tim Pool, right?
No, I love being bald. I shave my head on purpose.
Tim Pool wore his little beanie thing to the White House. Well, he sat in the new I didn't know they had a new media chair in the press room of the White House for the new media people, and somehow they picked him to have that seat that day. But then she went to a question. Listen, they bring you to the White House. You get a chance to ask the press secretary the question. Did you hear Tim Pool's question?
No, it was probably.
Why are people so mean? Why are people so mean?
That's how they get the seats. They know they're going to ask those stupid ass questions. They're not going to pick someone like me who would say, "Excuse me, Miss what's her name? McElney? Levy.
Caroline Leavitt.
Caroline Levy.
Leave it alone.
Excuse me, Miss Levy. How does it feel to just come out here and lie every fucking day?
Right. That's what
they're not going to put me up there to ask that question.
I would say, did you fart? And when she said no, is that your breath smelling like that? But that's the kind of guy I am.
We know. That's why we love you.
Yeah. And then Matt would.
That's why we keep coming back for more.
So
no, I would say your mother's the skank whore. I have a question. Yes.
Is that thing about it so that people know to laugh? Is that what you do? You tell a punchline and you do this so they know that they're supposed to laugh. It's like
I do this and then I'm like,
the laugh light. Yeah. It's like the sign that says applause. It's like, and next thing you know, there's two of us.
All right. I guess we should end it all. And when I mean end it all, I'm talking about my life. You know what? I feel kind of bad. I like that. Again, the first hour was kind of uplifting, but I'm back into my. There's got to be a way out. Where's that fucking asteroid when you need it? Mode right now.
I'm convinced there will never be an asteroid. There will never be a big life-ending, changing event. I had this discussion last night. I think because life is so miserable for most people that the greatest punishment we can receive is to be stuck on this goddamn planet dealing with all the bullshit we deal with every day, and nothing's going to change it. Nothing's going to get rid of it.
You would hope that the human race would be just gone by the time the Milky Way and Andromeda crash together. You would hope that there will be no people around.
I think the human race deserves to watch our galaxies combine and be torn apart molecule by molecule.
Well, here's the deal now. I'm sorry, nickel for GD there. Yesterday, after
a what program, for GD? What'd you call him?
A nickel.
Oh my God.
Nickel, please. Nickel, please.
Oh my God.
Yes, I know. Yesterday after the program, I was out studying. I was doing a little research on the effects of marijuana on a bald-headed imbecile, and I was sitting there, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I live right across the water from a nuclear submarine base.
Right.
And then as I was studying the effects of marijuana on a bald-headed imbecile, I happened to look up, and there was contrails going straight up. Now, it's from across the water, so I'm thinking, well, it could be just flying like horizontally, but appear that it's going straight up. But it kept going straight up, and leaving contrails behind it with no sound. And I'm thinking I should go get my phone and tape this because it's and somebody would say, "Hey, you just don't understand perspective and all this." But I kept watching it, and it wasn't going over my head now. It's still going up. And then at some point, sound kicked in, and it was like a rocket. And I'm like, wouldn't this be great if that's a nuclear weapon going, a nuclear, like a ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile with a warhead on it, and this is the beginning of the end of the world. And yeah, I'm just witnessing it, clueless about the nuclear annihilation that's going to come my way. And then it took off like doubled it. It was moving slow, but then whoo, I'm pretty sure this was a missile of some sort coming from the nuclear submarine base.
If it happens, if it does happen like that, I hope there's no warning. I just want to go.
Right.
I'd like warning. Because I would like to have clean underwear on. No,
I don't want any warning. I just want to be mid goon session, getting ready to come, and then just boom, nothing's left.
But that's just it. If you're not there doing that,
the world's going to end tonight. And I think if this is to the point of warning, if you know you got like 30 minutes, you're gonna make it count.
Right, but if you don't know, you may want to be in your yard cutting the grass or something like that. So like I said,
so boring.
I was sitting there researching the effects of marijuana on a bald-headed imbecile, which is not a bad way.
If there is a 30-minute warning that there's a missile coming, I'm going to go across the street. I'm going to steal the neighbor's horse and buggy. All right. And I'm just going to go ham through town and just go crazy and go nuts.
That's why you need a warning. Because if you don't have a warning, you could probably wind up, let's say, in the bathroom reading a book or doing a crossword puzzle.
Well, I don't want to.
I'm not 65. I'm not sitting in the bathroom doing a crossword puzzle.
What are you saying? Something bad about people who are 65? We will come there and shit on your fucking floppy tits.
I will slap you.
I will take my dude wipes and put them all in your face.
I will slap you with my crossword book.
But my thought was,
because there would be 2 down and 1 across, just like that. 1 across.
Hold on, I'm gonna hit a B on that. We need that as a clip later.
I touched my nose, which means I have to sneeze now. But my thought was, this is going to be somebody's experience when it finally happens. When nuclear war starts or whatever ends up being annihilating us, somebody's just going to be looking, oh, look at that. Like, not
that's going to be the person that goes out the happiest, though, is the guy that's just like, oh, neat. Boom.
At least let me finish this bowl. That's the end game there. Let me finish
this bowl.
I am.
Did the side of the rocket say, "Shall we play a game"?
What the fuck was that even, GD? Oh my god!
Shall we play a game?
Saying it twice doesn't make me get it more.
Really? You didn't see Blazing Saddles?
We talked about the. See, you're having an episode again. I think it's nap time.
I think with that hot sauce he ate, his saddle will be blazing any moment now.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. I was freebasing the habanero sauce, so I'm going to be bleeding out of my butthole later.
Now, is that a racial slur, habanero sauce? Is that
a racial slur?
Yeah, like a spick thing.
No, it said, well, I thought it said spicky, but it said spicy, so.
How would you tell the difference? They're the same words. It's like live and live.
Well, I can tell you this didn't taste like the Puerto Rican I was with, so it definitely doesn't taste spicky. So
yeah, Matt, I wanted to mention something to you because you were going into this really stupid version of philosophy. I mean, a really imbecilic version of it. And Steven's already shaking his head no, and I don't know if he knows. Like you said, it's like you take the word God and you can add an O to it and it becomes good. Or you can take the word devil and you drop the D and then you got evil. And I thought to myself, Matt is so fucking stupid. And then I started thinking to myself, or you can take the word God and spell it backwards and it's dog. You can take the word devil and spell it backwards and it's lived. You know, it's like
I was gonna say when you said that, I was gonna say, well, if you take the D off of anybody, they'd become evil.
If you take the D off of dick, it becomes ick.
Well, that's why I'm not into trans people. No,
that's not what I wasn't suggesting, but the forces of good and evil, it's just like hidden behind these words that we use for God and the devil. Really, we're trying to say
but it's not like that in Latin or like in Hebrew, like the Bible.
But this is America.
Yeah, but supposedly our Christian nation, we get our values from the Hebrew Bible. So it's not like that in the Hebrew Bible.
I get.
All right, guys, I have to take off. I have to head to work.
Yeah, get out.
Get good.
Bye. Why are you still here? I thought you would do it work an hour ago. We have to go through this shit every day. I gotta go at 11:30. I gotta go to work. I have a real job, not like you. Not like you retired folks.
You have a hard ass now, full of hot pepper juice or whatever. Could you just say the phrase?
I have a hard out because I have a hard knock life.
GD. Shut the fuck up. Don't forget to turn on your radio.
Are you a retard?
Steven taking this shit in about 20 minutes. That's what he's gonna sound like. Here, one more time with that. See what I mean? Finish inside me. Next week and all that. Well,
and a lot of that
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.